So here we go. First of all, I want to finish this league that I was playing yesterday. I'm playing 4-color Loam. Um, let's see if Moto wants to help me out here. Okay, there we go. So I'm playing this list right here. For people that are unfamiliar with this deck, this is basically, it kind of is the evolution of what we were playing yesterday. Yesterday we were playing 2 days ago actually. We were playing Maverick, green white Maverick with a little splash for black, and this is kind of like, instead of being closer to a Death and Taxes deck, I guess, just like Maverick is. What we have here is a Chalice deck. Okay, so we're trying to use Mox Diamond to potentially be able to just get a Chalice on one as soon as possible, and then kind of stop as much of my opponent's deck as I can. Then basically we have Bob for card advantage and Punishing Fire with the Groves of the Burn Willows combo. So basically what this does is, for 2, it's a shock, which is not the most impressive card ever. But whenever your opponent gains life, you can pay a red mana to return P Fire to your hand, which conveniently is exactly what Grove does. So you just stop Grove for red, make your opponent gain a life, and what that does is you can use that red mana to return the Punishing Fire from your graveyard to your hand. So you have this to kind of like kill a bunch of small critters, and then you have actually kind of small Green Sun Zenith package. You have just Scavenging Ooze. You can of course use Zenith on 0 to go get Dryad Arbor to give you some ramp. You can also Zenith for 2 and go get Gadok Tig. This is particularly good against combo, particularly Storm. Okay, game 1 they have no answers for a Resolved Gadok Tig, so usually when you Zenith for 2 against Storm, you basically just win the game. You go get Gadok Tig and you win the game. And of course this is a Knight of the Reliquary deck, so you will see that we have a bunch of one-off lands. We have Caracas to like return big legends to my opponent's hands or whatever. We have Ghost Squadron Wasteland, which is, most often than not, this is plan 1. Then we have Cabal Pit, which is a very interesting card. It's basically a removal spell. Okay, it's basically a card that can kill any kind of small dudes. This is particularly good against cards like Mother of Runes, because they just cannot give protection from Cabal Pit. This is a land. This is a colorless source. So Mom can't do anything to protect herself or anybody else, I guess, from Cabal Pit. This also kills Mirren Crusader. It also kills, I don't know, like Stoneforge Mystic, Opposing Dark Confidants, Delvers, Young Pyromancers. It used to kill Deathred Shaman. But yeah, so we have that. We have a couple of cycling lands. We have a black cycling land and a green cycling land. After all, this is a base green and black deck. Okay. And then we have Maze of Ith to kind of like, stop troublesome creatures, Gormaganglers, Merit Lages, sometimes even Delvers. And we are also live from the Loam deck. So as you can see, this is kind of like the deck is a little bit all over the place, but it works though. It's like all of the cards kind of work together, even though it kind of looks like they are just like random cards put together for no reason whatsoever. And even there's like a little dyssynergy here with between Loam, you know, returning your lands and making your knights smaller, but at the same time, when you dredge Loam, you more often than not are, you know, hitting a couple of lands and putting them in the yard, which actually grows the knight. So the deck is super interesting. Also, we have Liliana the Veil just because it's a great card. But as you can see, like the deck does a lot of cool things, and I just wanted to finish up this league right here. I'm currently 3-1, so this is gonna be the last, the last match, and we'll see how we do. We will see how we do. All right, here we go. I did not update that we're actually running 4-color Loam instead of Maverick. There we go. I'm honestly not even convinced that this list is good. I think this is a list that I took from a challenge or something like that. Cool. So this is a pretty good hand. We have turn 1 either Civil Library or Bob. Usually on turn 1, I like, you know, playing Bob because it kind of forces, it just puts my opponent in a rough spot. And I'm going to, this is interesting. I can either throw the Mace of It in the bin and just, you know, keep all mana lands, or I can throw the value in the bin. I think I'm going to, in the blind, I'm going to win the Mace of It, which I could get punished by this. And then I'm going to go get a basic forest, and I'm going to play Bob on turn 1. The reason I'm doing this is that if we play Liliana on turn 2, if we draw Liliana on this turn, then I would definitely want to play it. And in order to be able to do that, I will need, you know, a second black source here. So Bob resolves. We'll see what my opponent is on. They for sure know what I'm on right now, at least. Eldrazi Temple. Okay, so my opponent is on Eldrazi. This is not a bad matchup at all, basically because of this, exactly. Once Knight gets up to like 5/5, 6/6, they cannot really deal with it. So, what am I gonna do here? Mox Diamond forces me to discard a land. So what I'm trying to do here is figure out which land I'm going to discard, whether I want to hold the Tranquil Thicket. I think I'm going to 100% play the Knight here. Because this Knight is going to be huge right here. It's going to be at least a 5/5. Yep, so I guess I'm going to play Mox Diamond. I'm just going to be in the Tranquil Thicket. And then I'm gonna play my Knight. And we're already in a really good spot. The reason I'm playing a land is I want to have forests in play in order to be able to sack to the Knight, and I can start wastelanding my opponent. My opponent plays a Thought-Knot Seer, they take my Silver Library, I don't think I care. What I'm really concerned about here is I want to keep my card advantage rolling. That's why I want to hold up this Bob right here. And yeah, there's this Thought-Knot, that's fine. They take my Silver Library, but you know, the Eldrazi Mimic can't even attack because the Knight is so huge already. So, depending on what we draw here, we'll see where... Okay, so we drew an Abrupt Decay. This is pretty good. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just main phase. So I can main phase, go get a Wasteland here. Or I can wait for my opponent. The only problem with waiting for my opponent to have their turn is that Endbringer might actually be an issue here. So I think I want to just like do this in my main phase. I'm going to sack a forest, whatever. And I'm going to go at a Wasteland, and I'm going to Wasteland my opponent. Of note, I'm killing the Eldrazi Temple since, you know, this Ayabugin is not doing much right now. If my opponent attacks, I think I'm going to get the Eldrazi Mimic. Matter Reshaper, that is fine. And I'm going to take 4 from the Thoughtnuts here. I want to keep drawing as many cards as I can. And I want to make sure that that I keep my opponent off mana. If this sequence repeats again, well, never mind. Yes, my opponent is very dead now. So green and 1. So this second night is gonna be game over. I don't think they can keep up with this. I'm gonna wasteland them again. And I'm going to, yeah, I don't want to attack here. If my opponent attacks, I'll probably just, you know, trade with the Matter Reshaper, but I think we're doing really well here. I just have to make sure that I don't like die to something stupid. Like Endbringer is the only card that I think that could be troublesome here. My opponent's placed Ballista on 1. That's perfectly fine. I don't care about that card. End of turn, I'm gonna cycle. Hopefully we find like a Punishing Fire or something like that. Second Bob, yeah, sure, whatever. So Bob is actually great for us. Just gonna wasteland them again. And I could actually wasteland them yet another time. I think I want to get a. I want to start attacking here. What I could do is I could play a second Bob. I could pass the turn, and I can actually grow my knights up to 1. What I'm thinking about right here is go and get a Cabal Pit. Because Cabal Pit can, like, you know, very easily trade for the Matter Reshaper and, you know, take it from there. I don't think I care that I care about them having this Ayovog in here. It literally does nothing for them. I guess, yeah, no, it does nothing for them. So I'm just going to attack with one of my knights and then pass the turn. We have my opponent in a 2-turn clock here. They will probably chomp with Matter Reshaper, which is fine, and they will reveal what? They reveal a Simian Spirit guy. Whoa, they kept it in hand. That's interesting. I guess they have something that they want to cast. Because this was an extra chump blocker, you know. They don't have any 3-mana lands. Because even Urborg doesn't help them get up to more than 5 mana. Again, the only card I'm concerned about here is Endbringer, because that Endbringer can actually stop my knights from attacking and stuff like that. But yep, so I will pass the turn here. I think this is fine, and I don't want my opponent, you know, to be able to cheese a win if I get super unlucky and I mean, the Ballista is not even big enough to kill me, because the highest converted mana cost I have in my deck right now is 3, which is the Lilianas and the Knights. And the one of Vindicate. So, I think we're in a really good spot right here. At my end of turn, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to sack this value and go get a Cabal Pit. And that Cabal Pit is going to basically kill the Walking Ballista. This is, of course, considering my opponent does anything at all, right? If they don't do anything, I think we just win. And I could have played Bob there, but again, I don't want my opponent to be able to cheese out a win. They have another Matter Reshaper, okay. That's a little bit annoying, but it's still fine. So end of turn. So I can basically force. Can I force the double jump here? So this is gonna be. I go get. I'm at 13. 13. 14. 15. So I am no, but I guess that the ballista would trade with the bob, so it's fine. I think I'm actually going to just like wasteland them here, and I'm gonna do the same play that I did last turn. There's no need for me to wasteland right now. I can just wasteland them in my turn after I see what I draw off the bob. And yeah, okay, so that's great. So they know about this. I will play another Mox Diamond, which allows me to discard this Windswept Heath. So now the knights are massive. Actually, each one of these knights is actual lethal right now. So is there any way that I can get punished if I attack with both? I attack, they block here and here. The ballista kills Bob. But they can't really do that. It's basically all about what I get off of this Matter Reshaper. So 13, 14, 15. I think I'm going to attack with just the one knight again, and my opponent will probably block with the Matter Reshaper. Swing for 13. My opponent chomps. And they reveal a Wasteland. Yeah, that card doesn't do much. Here, I think I am actually going to... Nah, I'm actually going to Wasteland their source anyway. My knights are lethal anyway, so this doesn't really change anything for me. I'm just gonna waste them there. And my opponent will, again, at max, have access to 5 mana. Or no, they can actually have access to 6 mana. If they have a Soul Land plus the Simian Spirit Guide, then they can actually play a 6-drop. But I'm going to make the play that I just talked about, and I'm going to kill the Ballista at end of turn, which will force a double chomp, because each one of these knights is actually going to be lethal. So this should be probably game right here. I'm just putting my opponent in the double abyss. The double abyss. Again, I'm not playing Bob again because I don't want my opponent to be able to, you know, get extremely lucky, and I guess I get super unlucky and I reveal like 2-3 drops of Bob, and you know, with plus this fetch might put me in a bad spot, but I think I should be fine here. Again, we have the Cabal Pit play that we're going to do at their end of turn. So my opponent has to play something this turn in order to keep playing the game. So they do have the Soul Land. There you go. Is this Reality Smasher? Okay, that's fine. I don't care. So they're gonna attack? They are not going to attack. Okay, sweet. So now we have the double chump block this turn. So I'm going to go get something that I can sacrifice, like a Bayou. Float black mana, tap knight, sacrifice this. Go get Cabal Pit and sacrifice Cabal Pit to kill the Walking Ballista. My opponent goes after me, which makes sense. Again, they want to be able to like somehow cheese out a win. And that's lethal actually. Okay, cool. So black minus Liliana, and then I attack with 2 lethal knights. My opponent chumps and they take lethal. Boom. All right. Oh, this deck is amazing, and I love that this deck is just fun. It's just fun. I really like it. One of the very few ways that my opponent actually can beat me is through Leyline of the Void. Leyline of the Void from the Eldrazi deck is actually extra punishing. So that's why I like bringing in Rex Sage and Golgari Charms. Golgari Charm has the upside that sometimes it just kills Eldrazi Mimics, which is it's fine. So I do like the one of Rex Sage, and I do like the two Golgari Charms. Chalices are terrible because my opponent is also a Chalice deck, so I definitely would rather have Swords in my deck rather than Chalices. And Tabernacle is also sweet. That's one of the best things about Modo, is that you can have you can actually own Tabernacles because they are not like almost 3 grand. So that's great. Both Knuckle and Mace are good cards in this matchup. Gadok Teague is not great, but it basically protects me from all this dust. Which sometimes, these lists run. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. That was like, that's actually like the motto. Like, this was in the background, so it was behind the chat. Maybe it makes it hard to read. So that should be fixed now. A Jandy Vengeant can be okay. Of course, if you ever get to ult it, it's game over. But it might be. It might be not great. I definitely want to. This matchup, Dry Arbor is not great, but you still want the one-off to be able to Zenith for. I still think I want to side at least one Zenith out. And then one last card, it will probably be a land. Probably Caracas. Caracas doesn't do much in this matchup. Alright. I think this is a nice setup. Again, I'm not really sure about Teague. Teague is not great, but maybe it's worth it just because it's able to protect me from all this dust. Maybe it is correct to get the second Green Sun Zenith in instead of the Teague, because the Green Sun Zenith can find the post board. The Green Sun Zenith can find the what's his name? I'm blanking. Reclamation Sage. There you go. And this hand is really, really good. If my opponent has the turn 0 Leyline, which they don't, cool. That would have made the hand much worse, because my Punishing Fire would be, of course, much worse. We'll see. My opponent has turn 1 Ballista. That's fine. So this actually makes me think. That's not a bad draw, by the way. This makes me think whether I want to turn 1 just wasteland them and just use my turn to punish. Maybe Punishing Fire my opponent. I am playing the Mox Diamond. The question is, what am I discarding? I think I'm discarding the Baron more. I know this is awkward with the Liliana in hand, but I think I want to wasteland my opponent. Actually, if I want to wasteland, it might be better to cycle Baron more. No, I really want to hit my land drops, and I want to have another untapped land next turn. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. Play wasteland my opponent, and I will take 1 from this Ballista. And next turn I can P-Fire it. They have a second Ancient Tomb. Okay, cool. So now I can P-Fire the Ballista, but I'm not going to fetch yet, because I might want to go get a second Black Source to play Liliana on turn 3 instead of Bob. So I want to see what my opponent does. If my opponent plays a Wasteland here, then I will probably be forced to go fetch a Forest, just because I want to start making my land drops and play an Excavator. And there it is. Thought Knot. Ugh. That's rough. I think this Thought Knot is going to get my... Okay, now at this point, since they exile a Siemens Brigade, they clearly don't have a soul land. So if they use their wasteland to kill me Bayou, I'm actually okay with that. So I will P-fire the Ballista, and then this Thought Knot will most likely get my Liliana. Maybe I should have given them the option. No, because Liliana is terrible in the face of the Walking Ballista, so it's definitely better for me to do this. Okay, let's see what we draw. We drew a Grove. It's actually a great draw. I'm going to play the Grove and play the Bob here. I'm probably going to take the 4 this turn, go down to 13, and see what my opponent does. And what this does is, if my opponent wants to waste me, they can do it. Oh, if they have Smasher here, I'm in trouble. Yeah, this clock just got way faster all of a sudden. This clock just got way faster. I'm still gonna take it because I really want to draw. I really want to draw a Knight of the Reliquary right here. So return the P-fire and untap. Okay, Bob trigger. Be nice to me, Bob. Ugh, that's not nice. Jeez. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play my land. And I think I'm going to pass the turn. Hope my opponent doesn't have another Smasher. But I want to like block the Thought Knot and P-fire it. Ugh. What does my opponent have here? City of Traders is gone. Another Smasher. Yep. Okay. Yeah. That this draw was just impossible to beat. My opponent had a bunch of things going on. Yeah. As you can see, like all that time, I was just waiting for a Knight. You know, Knight basically stops whatever it is that they're doing because it's just bigger than anything they can have. They want to change anything. I think I probably want to do this. I want to have access to more Knights. Maybe I want a Ajani. Ajani seems just like it doesn't do enough. I guess it can, like, after I take 5, it can like tap a Reality Smasher or something. That doesn't seem great though. But maybe I cannot afford to have this many Bobs. On the play, I really want Bob though, so I think I'm just gonna keep this. Okay, again, we are gonna hope that my opponent doesn't have stupid Leyline, because Leyline kind of it's pretty tough to beat against this deck in particular. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this hand. Might be punished, but I have turn 2 Bob, and I have a turn. Hopefully, I find a land and I get a turn 3 Knight. Okay, my opponent again does not have the delay line, which is great for me. Ancient Tomb. If they play a Ballista here, oh, Spyglass. Sure. So I guess that stops Liliana, but that's fine. I'm not gonna play Liliana yet. That doesn't look like it. Maybe they bring it in to like to stop Wasteland. Oh, also they probably cited out their chalices, so they just, you know, any garbage that they can put in instead of chalice. Yeah, fire is good versus Eldrazi. It kills ballistas because they can very rarely do it for over 2. It kills Eldrazi mimics. It kills Mother Reshapers, and it just goes face as well. It's not amazing, but it's better than like the cards we actually cited out. And maybe I could like leave 1P fire in and try to Um, so here I'm going to play Bob. Okay, they did name Wasteland, yeah, so they're just worried about Wasteland. So I did draw the Mox Diamond, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it in hand. So even if I draw a land that doesn't tap for mana, like a Tabernacle or a Mace, I can still cast my Knight on turn 2. And they have the turn 2 Thought Knot, of course. Of course, they have the turn 2 Thought Knot. What do they take here, though? They took Liliana. That's very interesting. That kind of suggests to me that they have Dismember or something like that. And this is so unlucky. Wow. We're playing 28 lands in the deck in this moment, and we drew none. This is really rough. This is very, very bad. Which one was the reveal card? Vindicate. So I revealed the Vindicate. Wow, seeing no land there is really bad for us. That really, really sucks. Actually, I'm somewhat happy that my opponent named Wasteland, because now they cannot Wasteland me. Have a Mimic, please. Have something I can decay, please. Missing on that land drop though is huge. That's just massive. That's really, really bad. That's really, really bad. If my opponent has Smasher here, that's pretty much game over right there. That's pretty much game over. If my opponent does not have Smasher here, I'm taking 4 from this Thought Knot, because I want to be able to give myself another chance to find that land. I really need that land right now. This is so unfortunate. Overall, this matchup is good for us, but you know, sometimes this happens. I think I'm keeping a 2-lander on the play with turn 2 Bob 100% of the time. That's like 4 draw steps in order to find. That's 3 draw steps to find a land in a 28 land deck. That seems very, very possible, but it was just not meant to be. 7. Okay, so they dismember. Okay. What else now? Okay, that dismember explains why they took the Liliana. They were just expecting to dismember my Knight. What's this? Ratchet Bomb. Revoker. Okay. They name Knight with the Revoker. I think I'm going to kill the Revoker here. I'm going to kill one of these things. I need to use my mana when I'm stuck on mana. Or do I kill the Ratchet Bomb? This Ratchet Bomb can potentially kill my Mox Diamond, which would be really bad. Also, Revoker is another card that Punishing Fire kills. Hi Bomber Saruman. I do not usually stream for Loam. I do not usually stream. I started streaming like 2 weeks ago, and yesterday we streamed some Maverick and people enjoyed it, so I wanted to stream a little bit of Fort Loam, which is the other Legacy deck that I enjoy a lot. But I started playing Legacy 2 months ago and started streaming 2 weeks ago. I stream mostly Modern Amulet. That's what people enjoy a lot, so I give the viewers what they want. So again, going back to this, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna kill here. I think I want to kill the Revoker, because this also adds to the clock. But this Ratchet Bomb is kind of painful here. But if I draw a land, I'm going to play Knight anyway, so I think I want to kill the Revoker here. Maybe that is wrong and I should actually kill the Ratchet Bomb. I'm not killing the Ratchet Bomb also because I have the Rex Sage here. and by the time they make it to 3 mana, this is rough. Okay. Green Sun for 1. For 0, I mean. Go get stupid Dryad Arbor. At least the Dryad Arbor cannot be Ratchet Bombed, so that's good. Alright. Do your best, opponent. I'm gonna take the 4 again. I really need to play this Knight. A Ballista here would be devastating though. Matter Reshaper is fine. Again, the card I don't want to see is Ballista. Okay, sweet. We got there. And my opponent even like went over. So I can play the Knight here, which I think it's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna play the Knight and I'm going to chump the Thought Knot with the Dryad Arbor. And next turn I'm going to play the Rex Sage. If my opponent's last card is something like a Walking Ballista, then I'm kind of screwed. But if it is not, then we're in good shape. Oh, another option is actually just vindicating the Thought Knots here. Now I want to get Knight going. Again, this play is only bad against this member, but it's gonna be a while before this Knight actually gets out of this member range. This Ratchet Bomb won't get to blow up anything because I'm gonna play Rex Sage next turn, and Knight is going to start getting pretty damn big. Okay, this is good. This is real good. Okay, so I'm going to chump a Thought Knot. I'm gonna take 3, and my opponent that also grows the Knight to a 4/4. My opponent would better have some follow-up here. They do not. Okay, so we're in great shape now. Rex Sage is going to be another, not even a chump blocker now. Rex Sage actually trades with Matter Reshaper. It blows up the Ratchet Bomb. Or do I want to? No, I really want to blow up the Ratchet Bomb. Yeah. This is actually like the last turn that I get to blow up the Ratchet Bomb, so I definitely want to blow up the Ratchet Bomb. I'm not going to F6. Okay, and we have stabilized. Again, the card that, I mean, just has me dead here is All This Dust. All This Dust just straight wins the game here. So there's that. But besides that, we're looking pretty good. I'm going to activate Knight for sure. The question is, what do I want to get here? Yes, I mean, I will definitely start streaming. I really enjoy Legacy, and I really enjoy in Modern, basically I enjoy playing Amulet, and you know, sometimes I play something else, but it's mostly Amulet. Like all the other decks in Modern just don't excite me as much. In Legacy, 4-Color Loam is probably like my favorite deck right now. 4-Color Loam and Maverick are the 2 decks that I have had the best results with. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go get a fetch in order to grow my Knight. I don't think I want to be wastelanding my opponent. I still have a Vindicate as protection. And we're looking good here. I am not going to play that Bob though. I could start wastelanding. But I don't think I want to. I do want to start Vindicating though, so I can probably like Vindicate my opponent's Ancient Tomb. Man, we have so many options. I can Vindicate the Thought Knot, but I don't think I care about this Thought Knot yet, because I can actually double Punishing Fire it later. I think I care about my opponent's mana more than anything, so I'm going to actually kill the Ancient Tomb here. Alternatively, I can kill the Spyglass and go get a Wasteland, but I don't think I want to be... I want to keep my lands in play. Each Wasteland that I kill, it's actually, you know, a land drop that I miss. And this is just like, my opponent now has access to only 4 mana tops. And any land that they play is going to destroy their City of Traders, which is of course great for me. And now I'm getting to the point where Smasher doesn't do it anymore, because I can just like block here and then actually swing back for lethal. Right? That's 6. Destroy another land. Go get a fetch. I can even go get Ghost Quarter. That might be a sweet play actually here. That might be a pretty sweet play here to go get Ghost Quarter the Eye of Ugin. Yeah, the Spyglass is on Wasteland right now, which makes sense. Which makes sense. My opponent played on turn 1, and they saw my hand and I guess they figured that Wasteland was what they wanted to name. But fortunately, this deck is playing a one-off. Oh, dude! I can actually... Okay, so my opponent is trying to... Can I grow my knight past an 8/8? Because that's what Dismember would do. Dismember plus Matter Reshaper. So can I make my knight a 9/9 this turn? I can block. I can sack. Go get Ghost Quarter. That would be a 7/8. So I can make it an 8/8. Unless I Ghost Quarter myself, in which case, yeah, I don't think I like this play. I'm just going to trade with Reclamation Sage. This is fine. But I'm definitely not taking 3. That's for sure. So I'm going to have the step on damage. I don't want my opponent to get out of hand here. My opponent finds a cavern. Okay, so now we're post-combat. And I can actually go get Ghost Quarter and I can destroy their Eye of Ugin. My opponent names Ape. Alternatively, I can go get Maze of Ith. And Maze of Ith can actually start... I think I want to go get Ghost Quarter though, and Ghost Quarter their Eye of Ugin. Go get Ghost Quarter, where are you? There it is. And Ghost Quarter the Eye of Ugin. Boom. So now knight is an 8/8. Opponent has no basics. We're past the attack step. And now we're in a pretty good spot. P-Fire can actually deal with... sweet. Okay, so we draw a Wasteland, which actually we're going to play off Mox Diamond. So here the options are, I can go get... So I can just pass the turn. And I can go get Maze of Ith, and next turn what I can do is I can do the cool trick of attacking with Knight, force my opponent to block, and then at the end of, after damage, still in my combat, Maze still sees Knight as an attacker, so I can actually untap it. I can get my Knight pseudo vigilance, which is a very sweet trick. Here I'm gonna cast Mox Diamond. I think because Reality Smasher, yes, I'm gonna let this turn go. Okay, so I could attack, and if my opponent doesn't block, they are just dead because I have P-Fire. If my opponent does block, then they draw a card, and what happens is, yes, Knight is lethal, but hear me out. So I attack. Okay, my opponent chumps. I draw another card, okay, and if that card is not good, then my opponent can on the next turn play a Smasher and swing for lethal. I could also like play a Bob, okay, on my second main, but if my opponent EOT dismembers the Bob and then untaps, plays another Soulland and plays a Smasher, I lose. And I don't think there's any other way that I can lose this game right now. So I'm going to pass the turn, and even if my opponent draws a Smasher here, I can block the Smasher, and still in combat after blockers, I can do what I'm going to do anyway, which is sack this, go with Maze of Ith, and stop the Thought Knot from coming in. So I think this line that I'm choosing right here basically loses to nothing. It's basically guaranteed a win. Versus the other one, which there's like a very very specific scenario that can happen where I lose. But I feel like I don't want to give my opponent a minimal chance of winning. Okay, this game is over. I have won this game. Now what I'm trying to figure out is how can I possibly lose this game, and this line is actually a way that I can lose this game. So I'm going to actually go for the safest line, which will you know, basically guarantee that I win. Because even if my opponent has double soul land, I mean, they would need to have like double soul land. At this point, the only card that kills Knight is All Is Dust. So I think we're doing good here. My opponent cannot wasteland me. I do not think that my opponent is playing any Rishadan ports either. My opponent is actually gonna cast the Simian Spirit. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, I can just P-Fire it and force the chump with the Thought Knot. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do here is end of turn, P-Fire this dude, Ape down, and I'm going to get Mace of Ith here, and I'm going to do the trick that I just explained a minute ago. Mace of Ith. That's a really nice draw. Okay, now my opponent sees the line, and yeah, that Loam was actually lethal right there. Sweet. So we 4-1. We 4-1 with 4-color Loam. Again, this deck is so sweet. Like, it just has so many things going on, and all the things that it has going on are just awesome. Sweet. Okay, so we have some options here. We're gonna update the record, and there we go. So I'm going to for sure play another league. Question is, what do people want to see? 4-color Loam. Oh, close that. We can do 4-color Loam, which I actually think I wanted to like change the list a little bit. I saw people running Garruk. This guy. Oh, I hear a follow sound. But somehow it's not showing up yet. Whoop. There we go. Jenny Tolls, thanks for following. So we can do 4-color Loam. We can do Maverick. Okay, let's do this real quick. There we go. We can do 4-color Loam. We can do Maverick. We can do Amulet in Modern. Okay. So that's the thing. Those are the three options. What do people want to see? I wish I knew how to do a poll, because that would make things much easier. So we have a vote for Loam. We have a vote for Primetime. What else do we got? There's 10 people watching. Primetime, my votes. Okay, we have 2 Primetime votes, and we have 1 Loam vote. Depends on how long the league. So that's 3 Primetimes already. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we're gonna be doing some Primetiming. I still love some. I love me some Loaming. So if we have time, I have to go pick up a friend at the airport. If I do have time before that, I mean, if this league goes by quick, I am actually going to stream a 4-color Loam league. But okay, that's 4 Amulet boats. We're gonna go with Amulet. Okay, so this is the list that we run last time. This is we 5-0'd with this list once, and then we 4-1'd this. So 9-1 record, not too shabby. What I said last time is I wanted to see if I can fit a 3rd Spell Pierce. Probably would be in place of this Stormlord script. This Stormlord script was MVP though in one of the matches that we played. So I still want to test the crypt. I'm still not sold on it, but there was one time when it looked amazing, and maybe Maybe we can get some more testing in. But yeah, besides that, I don't think I want to change anything else. Like the list has felt great for me. So we're going to just jump into the queue, and I will have to change the title again. Competitive Modern League. And join league and Amulet. Okay. There we go. Real quick, I'm going to update the title. Oh, that was fast. Okay. Bottom text, deck, Amulet Titan. All right. Okay. So, sweet. So we're on the play. We're playing against Ballestin 93. No idea what this guy plays. This guy plays mostly Legacy. This hand is super slow. Super slow. And this hand is awful. Ugh. If we had a green source, this hand would be great. But we don't. Maybe the fact that I have a fountain, which will help me buy it some time, is enough for me to keep this hand, you know, hoping to top a green source here. Because if we find a green source, we're actually off to the races. I'm going to keep... This is a risky... Okay, I can get behind this. Alright. So now we have a plan, okay? We just need a green source. The moment we get a green source, we're actually in a great spot. This hand is also great against Thoughtseize. Okay, so we're playing against Control. We're gonna play Amulet under counter magic and then pass the turn. And now we're really, really hoping that we find a green source. We want to, again, the plan against Control decks is always the same. Try to punish them when they tap out for a threat on turn 4. They will probably tap out for a Jace on turn 4 or for Teferi on turn 5, and we want to make sure that we punish them by killing them or by resolving a key spell on that specific turn. And we are not looking great here, boys. We are not looking great. Search for Ascanta is getting my opponent some sick value. That's a good draw right there, though. Okay, so now I'm able to do this. I'm going to play it like this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bounce this, and I'm going to try to resolve a Tribe Scout, okay? We'll see what my opponent does. This allows me to pay for Mana Leak if I want to. Yep, so my opponent doesn't do that. The way I sequence this now this allows me to go find a Primetime. Primetime or Cavern? I think I want to actually transmit for Cavern here. And then just try to hope to naturally draw a Titan. But we have effectively 10 Primetimes right now and only a single Cavern. Well, 3 Caverns, I guess. My opponent opts. They are trying to flip Ascanta ASAP, which is correct. My opponent is smart and they do not path the Tribe Scout. But yes, I'm going to protect this Cavern to the best of my abilities. They're going to do this right now. Yep, okay, that's fine. Sweet, okay. So I'm going to float a green. And I'm going to play Simic Growth Chamber. I'm bouncing the forest. Now that we did this, we can actually pay for Mana Leak here. So I'm going to explore. Try to find the... That's not bad at all. I'm not going to play it though, because I want to play around Detention Sphere. This was not a good... Ugh, that's a pack going down. Okay. So I want to be... That allows me another land drop. So I'm going to play the forest, and I'm going to play another Tribe Scout. Okay. So now, if we manage to draw a Primetime, we basically just win the game. I'm not going to attack with this Prime Scout, with this Strive Scout, in case my opponent draws another Field of Ruin. Now my opponent will probably try to go for the Fairy. No, okay. Flashing in the Gemstone Mine, end of turn. Gee, so many amulets. Considering I have these many amulets, I think I'm actually going to play a second one. This will be, of course, trying to bait some kind of counter magic. My opponent does nothing. So smart. But now this might actually... do I want to trade for a Snapcaster? I don't think I do. I'll trade one for a Snapcaster. That's fine. What I was saying is maybe this will kind of force my opponent to... the fact that there's two of them to play a Detention Sphere. My opponent's a really good player though, so he's not buying nothing. He's not buying anything. Feels like they are actually quite familiar with the matchup and they are not. But yeah, okay, so still this is this matchup might quite easily get down to the clock, so I might actually not talk too much and just try to play fast. So I might not be talking as much. My opponent just has Search for Ascanta going. Yeah, now we are actually approaching dangerous territory. Still, my opponent does not go for the path. Now it's the Fairy time. Yep. Timely reinforcements. Alright, sure. Prime time. That's it, Lair West. So I'm gonna play Boros Garrison. Tap like this, and now I'm going to play the Azusa. See what my opponent does. They do not counter the Azusa. Okay. So I'm transmuting now. So going to get the Summoner's Pact here can be pretty rough, but on the other hand, I really want to be able to... My opponent is going to counter this. Negate. Ugh. Yeah, what I was going to say is that I'm trying to make sure that my opponent does not get value from their Ascanta. I don't want them to be drawing like a million cards every turn. So that's why I did that. So basically the best draw right here would be actual prime time. No... Okay, that's really bad for me. What did they do? Yeah, now we're gonna start being very dead. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a lot of X6ing now. This game is essentially over, so I'm gonna try to get back on time, basically. Get back to even on time. My opponent is actually a good player, so they're not. I don't think they're going to overextend or they're going to do anything stupid. They are not going to tap low or anything like that. They bottom the card. Okay, so that was one prime time down. Okay, if I get lucky and I draw prime time exactly this turn, then we have a chance. But we didn't, so don't worry about it. Never mind. Yeah. When they tap search, I'm going to destroy it. Gonna see what they show me. They have a Gideon. Okay, that's interesting. They have like actual ways to game the game and shit. That's impressive. They kept the card on top. Yeah, we were dead. This Jace is gonna ult. Yep. Okay. So I'm just gonna concede. It just makes no sense for us to keep going here. They have a clock. They have a Jace that's going to ult. They don't even attack. It's just like the Jace ult is just a much faster clock. The cards I want are Spell Pierce. I want Rurik. I want Tireless Tracker, and I want Nature's Claim. Cards I do not want: Explores, 2 Amulets, and Radiant Fountain. Where are you? There we go. Okay, so the plan is Threat Density. Except for Baloth, this card is just bad in the matchup. It's just not worth a card. And I just want to be able to force my plan through. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Ballista is our late game win condition. So when my opponent, after they take a Rurik Thar trigger, after they take, maybe 1 hit from a Prime Time, maybe 1 or 2 hits from a Tireless Tracker, post board we're gonna do a lot of cheap shots, like a tiny little swinging in, winning a Tribe Scout here and there. Maybe Azusa gets in for a couple of beats and stuff like that. Here I like Tribe Scout over Amulet because the only way that they have to deal with it is with real cards, namely Path and Detention Sphere. So if they are using those cards in okay, I'll keep this hand. If they are using real cards in and they are using them just to kill my Tribe Scout, I'm really happy. Okay, that was probably the worst draw in the deck. Worst possible draw. Turn to search. Seems good. Here I'm going to just play the Scout and kind of hide the fact that I have a Cavern in my hand. But yes, we like the best thing that we can draw here is a bounce land. Probably Steerings, but Steerings can get tagged by. Okay, that's it. That's sweet. I'm gonna try to bait some spells off of my opponent right here. So I'm going to actually play these explosives on 2. See what my opponent does. Okay, it resolves, sweet. Because of that, I'm going to play the Cavern here, naming Giant, and I'm going to see what my opponent does. I think I'm going to blow it up. I don't want my opponent to get any value of this Search for Ascanta. We want to be ahead and stay ahead. Best draw for my opponent would be Field of Ruin here. Yep, there we go. Of course, my opponent is smart and they don't play it. Okay, this is great now. I'm going to play Gruul Turf and I'm going to bounce the Cavern. Okay, so my opponent is just passing the turn. I am going to actually play Azusa here. Hopefully it gets countered. Spell Queller. Nice. Alright, sweet. Okay, that was actually good for us though. The good thing now is this Prime Time is going to resolve and it's going to give me some value, and I don't even need to play Cavern on Giant, and I don't even need to tap my Tribe Scout. So you see why I like Tribe Scout in this matchup. It's basically blanking their Field of Ruin right there. Because they just cannot afford to activate it, because they know that if I just manage to have a bounce land in hand, they get severely punished. And I'm going to go get Boros Garrison here, and actually I'm not going to get Garrison here. I'm going to get Simic Growth plus a second Teleria. Simic Growth plus Second Teleria. Bouncing T-West here, of course. This Vesuva can copy any land that I want, which is sweet. Because they cannot really, you know, they just cannot afford to kill any of my lands right now. I guess I'm going to get Path at the end of turn. No, they're actually activating. Yep, okay, that makes sense. And that's actually a good land to try to destroy. So Vesuva, copy Simic Growth, and the Blowout. My opponent just basically strip mine themselves for no value. They spent yeah, that makes sense. All right, sweet. Sakura Tribe Scout is, as you can see, incredible in this matchup. It's probably like one of the best cards in the matchup, like as unassuming as that is. Actually, this Spell Queller kind of has me thinking whether do I want to run like an Abrade or a Dismember. I think I might want to run a Dismember just as a one-off. It kills Colonnades. It kills Colonnades and it kills Spell Queller. Also, it's a huge tempo boost. If I spend 1 mana to kill their 2 mana play, it's basically like tiny time walk. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and be right back. Alright, we're back. I was thinking about it, and I think I'm going to side out 1 pact for 1 Dismember. Really, like, Spell Queller really throws a curveball to the Spell Pierce Pact's plan. If my opponent happens to like Spell Quell a Pact, it's just incredibly bad for me. It's just so bad. Okay. Pretty good hand. Okay. So this hand basically, that's a good thing for us. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This hand just really needs to draw as many bounce land as humanly possible. So you got Tribe Scout there. What's my opponent gonna do? Gonna shock there? Yep, they're gonna shock. They are playing main deck timely reinforcement, so it makes sense that they would shock there. And I play Tribe Scout, and then I'm gonna play a bounce land and pass the turn. So if this turn they happen to like tap out for anything, and next turn we get to like play Tracker with double Tribe Scout, I mean the best thing that could happen to me is that in this turn they tap out for Search for Ascanta. If that were to happen, that would be insanely good for me. Ooh, my opponent's looking for land drops pretty desperately, and I've been playing fast and I have no idea what my opponent was doing. So they bottomed with all their opts, but they apparently made it, and they actually found the land drop there. Okay, this pact is good. It's nice to have in the. But yeah, we're gonna start here. gonna start with the tracker. See what my opponent does. If this tracker is... Yeah, this is huge. This is huge for us now. This is really, really good. Probably my opponent will Wrath this turn. But if they do Wrath, they just get prime time. So... There's basically no... Whoa! Okay. That explains why my opponent is running so many opts. That's huge for them, though. Do I pack this? Is this good enough for me to pact? So my opponent can... They cannot Cryptic bounce one of my bounce lands, so that's good. But even if they Field of Ruin, I think I pack this. I think I actually pack this. I think this is relevant enough that I will pack this right here. Yep. My opponent has no lands here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is looking very much like a good one for us. Okay. So we're gonna pay here. Oh, I think I made a slight mistake there. I should have flashed in the gemstone mine, and that would have allowed me to crack a clue. I'm going to attack with tracker here. My opponent is missing land drops. Tracker already drew me 4 cards, and if my opponent wants to like throw a Snapcaster under the bus in order to deal with this tracker, I'm okay with that. Yeah, and this still represents the fact that we have like some kind of land or something, which is a lie, but you know. Okay, I like our spot though. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Whoa, my opponent's still missing land drops. This is huge. And at this point, tracker is just not touchable. I don't even need to cast this prime time right here. I don't even need to do it. I can just like start coming in with tracker, and I'm going to also come in with Tribe Scout in order to play around Blessed Alliance. Let's see if we find land. That's a great draw for us. Okay, sweet. So we found the land we were looking for, and oh, that was stupid. I just say I was going to attack with Tribe Scout to play around Blessed Alliance, and then I did the exact opposite. I just got too excited that we are so far ahead right now. I'm going to pass the turn here. My opponent is going to EOT Snap, Flashback, V-Click. Yeah, that card doesn't do anything here. Are they going to click themselves? No, they're going to click me. Okay, sure. It just doesn't do anything, really. They know I have a bounce land. They know I have explosives. But yeah, this tracker is just taking over the game, as it usually does. It usually does. That you know, yeah, there we go. That's yet another land. So we can crack another clue. They did take the prime time though, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, EU for 3, right? OP. My opponent just sees the writing on the wall. I just have too much gas. I still have... They know that I have at least 2 more land drops this turn, which means 2 more cards. They just packed it in, which makes sense. And that's, you know, we don't even need to resolve the prime time there. My apparently countering that that pact on Terminus was apparently the correct call. Sweet. 1-0. 1-0. We just beat blue-white control. And on to the next match. Lucky Bear. No, Beard. I thought it was Beard. Keepable hand. A little bit on the awkward side. Especially because I'm on the play. I think I'm going to lead on Kalni. No, that was a mistake. I should have let on Tolera West. Then on my turn, I can So if I know I'm playing against a discard spell deck, then I would 100% turn one. Okay, yeah. So now I don't have a green source. So that's what I was gonna say. If I know I'm against a discard spell deck, then I wanna play Kalni first, which allows me to turn to either play Amulet or Tribe Scout. It doesn't force me into any play. But on the blind, I probably assume I'm not playing against the discard spell deck, and I should lean on turn 1 Tolaria. What that does is on turn 2, I can play Amulet, and then my Kalni will untap, and I get to play Sakura Tribe Scout on turn 2. What am I playing against? Lotus Cobra. So I'm going to think this is some kind of Saheeli combo deck of some kind. Because I have Amulet in hand, I really want to find a bounce land, so I'm going to try to go for that. And I do not find a bounce land. But this Cavern of Souls represents a second green source. Which might be relevant. Amulet represents like death for my opponent though. Yeah, so with an amulet, with a second amulet, any ETB tapped land guarantees that I win next turn. So I'm going to do this. Actually, that's not quite, because I need to play Bojuka Bog this turn in order to make that happen. Sometimes this deck play Renegade Rallier, so I'm going to just chill here. If my opponent offers the trade, I'm taking it though. If my opponent offers the trade, I'm taking it. We could get wrecked here if my opponent happens to like do something dumb like core the 4/3 and play a Magus, which this deck sometimes do. If my opponent goes get a basic 4, yeah, I'm slightly afraid of Magus right now. Felidar Guardian. Is this the combo? Does my opponent have the combo kill? Like turn 3 combo? Yep. I think my opponent just is gonna kill me here. No, they don't have the blue mana. They need blue and red for Saheeli. So that's good for us. Sweet. At least we're not dead this turn. We really need to draw something next turn though. Eldritch Evolution. Yeah. So now I assume that my opponent will have some kind of I assume that my opponent has some kind of like Magus of the Moon, some kind of like Inferno Titan, some busted, yeah, Acidic Slime. That makes sense. They kill the Amulet. Alright, no, I can definitely beat this. I think I need to explore here. I really want to kill this Lotus Cobra though. Lotus Cobra goes nuts so fast. Ugh, just so much upside. If I happen to find any bounce land, there's just so much upside. I think I'm going to go for the Explore, I want to say. Ugh, this is rough. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Explore. It's the highest EV play. That's not great. My opponent has Felidar Guardians in their deck, so I'm not going to allow my opponent to be able to blink their dude. So I'm going to pass the turn here. That was rough. That was rough. We really need to hit it. We really needed to hit a bounce land there. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, so my opponent is playing red, but maybe the Magus of the Moon is in the sideboard. They had blue mana. Reflector Mage. Okay, that doesn't do much. We're fine. Yep, so I'm just gonna flash in Vesuva, copy in Carney Garden. This is fine. This doesn't really matter. I will guess block one of these. Just take 2. I am going to play Ballista on 2 this turn. Ballista on 2. And I'm gonna ping the Lotus Cobra right now. I don't want to enable Revolt for their turn. Maybe they have a... I'm actually... I mean, honestly, I'm more concerned about getting second green. You see what happened there? I drew a colorless land. If I draw another colorless land, then I'm pretty screwed. So I see your point of, trying to get second blue to transmute, but I have double Amulet in hand already. I'm more concerned about trying to get double green than trying to get double blue. So yes, it's a good thing to to keep in mind. What are your outs? What it is that you want to draw. I'm gonna take sure, I'll take 4 here. Now that I know they have voice, I would potentially be facing a pretty huge voice token in the near future. Jeez, this is rough. I think I want to kill the Hierarch right now. Alright, any land wins us the game. Any land in our deck is just the game. So we're just waiting. We are just waiting. Still, this Ballista is going to start doing some work, which is usually what Ballista does. Of note, the reason why I wanted to ping the Noble Hierarch there is because that's the blue mana for their Saheeli. And I don't want to get, comboed out of the game for no reason. Okay, any land... damn it. I mean, I guess we play it, but this is not great. And I'm gonna do this main phase. I don't think my opponent is playing Company. So here, if they attack, I'm going to probably trade with the Acidic Slime. This is of course worse if my opponent has Eternal Witness, but they don't even have the 5th mana yet, and I really want to slow down their clock. So I'm gonna do this. And again, they might have Renegade Rallier, so I don't want to enable Revolt during their turn. And now I'm going to ping with Ballista. Land! Shit, this sucks. This really sucks. Alright, we're doing the same play and we're going down to 2. This is really bad. This is getting real annoying. Oath of Nissa, yeah, that's rough. It always sucks when, our 28 land deck gets mana screwed. So they find the planes, that's good for us, that's at least no value, but now they actually can cast their Saheelis in hand. Which is of course bad for us, because they're going to start scrying into the combo. Yep, as you can see, they did have the Saheeli. Wow, that's actually a great play by my opponent. That's a great play by my opponent. Yep, that was pretty good. I did not see that play. I don't think there's anything that I could have done though, because I can't pack the Saheeli. If I could have, I would have. Even if I didn't see the play, I think packing the Saheeli there is good. And I just died to the mediocre bits, and of course that was the immediate next draw. Always feels bad when that happens. Okay, cards I want: Fire Spout, yes please. Coast Return, yes please. Abrades, yes please. Dismembers, yes please. I want Bogs. It's very likely my opponent has Unified Will, so I want to hold the Cavern of Souls. Ghost Quarter doesn't do much. I mean, it's probably better to keep the Ghost. No, I'm bringing in Abrades. Yeah, I'm gonna take the risk and I'm gonna side out Ghost Quarter. I mean, I say take the risk, so I'm pretty sure my opponent has Magus of the Moon. But I'm bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 answers to Magus of the Moon. So I don't think I'm that concerned about Magus. If they have actual Blood Moon, that's a little bit rough. I do think I want Tracker anyway. Rex Sage, I'm not sure about, honestly. 1 Azusa can come out, 2 Explorers can come out. Definitely like the Amulets. Not the biggest fan of the Pact, but it might be okay. I'm actually side out the pact. Now it's sometimes it gets to the point where you know you can actually be safe and just transmute for an answer. Maybe the Rex Sage comes out. Ballista seems insane in the matchup. Explosive seems okay. It might be a little bit too slow, but it's fine. Take out 1 Steerings. That was a really tough matchup. We saw no bounce lands whatsoever in that many draw steps. That was really rough. So this hand gets amazingly owned by Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon, so I'm gonna mulligan. And it was a little bit too slow too. This is not bad. This is some Blood Moon insurance, which is nice to have. And we have an actual threat. We have a way to dig for answers, probably trying to go find a Kozilek's return or something like that. So I'm gonna keep this, even though it's a little bit slow. Prime time is a good draw. We're gonna keep that on top. Alright. Hopefully my opponent fetches for a basic forest on turn 1. And we get to just go ahead and play Vesua, copy in their forest. Yep, there we go. Sweet. So this is going to... Okay, there's no way they can have turn to Blood Moon anyway. But we still would be protected against it anyway, so that's cool. I'm going to start here, see what we draw. I think I probably want a red source. Yeah, I probably want a red source to be able to cast potential sweepers. It would be nice to find some ramp. That's what I'm looking for. But yeah. So as I say, I want some Blood Moon protection, so I'm gonna go with Vesuva, and then next turn I'm going to play the Cavern, naming Giant, and then I'm going to play the Tracker. No second land drop? Oh yes, second land drop. Yes, second land drop. Okay. We drew another basic, which is sweet. Going to name Giant here. And play a Tracker and pass the turn. This is a very, very slow draw. I'm really hoping to see Explore, really hoping to see... oh, Lotus Cobra, jeez. Lotus Cobra really goes off in that deck. It's pretty impressive. I wonder if that deck is actually good. Yeah, so you see that they are searching for basics. This rings just so many bells for me. This is screaming Magus of the Moon to me. Acidic Slime is, yeah, that's fine. They're gonna like destroy the basic forest. No, they destroyed the... Oh, so maybe they do have... Okay, so they might have like some kind of blink effect, so I'm going to actually go ahead and play another basic here. And I'm going to fetch. I'm going to cycle here because we might draw either an Amulet or a Tribe Scout. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to attack here. We do have the Titan in hand, and if my opponent wants to trade Acidic Slime for the Tracker, that means that they are not going to be blinking it, which is good for us. Which it seems like it is what they are going to be doing, since they took the damage. Lotus Cobra doing so much work. Plant gonna be a hero and soak up some damage now. Nope, no place. Huh. Okay. So play Simic Growth. Know that I'm doing this right now because I want to see. Okay, what's going on now? Oh, instant speed. Resto. Oh, nice. So they are going for like max value. And I'm going to blow them out with Dismember. So they choose the target. It's gonna be Acidic Slime, and I'm going to Dismember Acidic Slime. Got him! Got him! Okay. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the Tracker to do the thing. And now I'm going to cycle before the bounce trigger resolves. This will give me, you know, better decisions as to what I should be bouncing. And I think I'm going to be bouncing the basic forest. No, the colony garden, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna be bouncing. I want to develop my mana base as far as I can right now. So explore. Is that a good draw? Is this a good draw? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just going to be developing my mana base here, and I can again crack another clue, which is good. And now I am going to bounce actually the basic forest. I think I want to keep this in play in case, again, I'm still trying to play around the potential blood move from my opponent. And I'm going to come in for 6. Swing for 6. Alright, I might get comboed out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So any land gives them Kiki Jiki, so a chord for Kiki mana, which I think is what's gonna be happening right here. Rex Sage. Okay, that's fine. I still have Primetime here. I still have Primetime mana. Another good reason to bounce this forest. But I think I'm going to... So I'm going to take the attack here. I assume my opponent is holding up Unified Will here. For whatever reason, it just really... I strongly feel that my opponent has Unified Will. Is there any way that I can play around Unified Will? Yes, I can just sweep their board on upkeep. So I'm going to play the basic forest, crack, we draw a Tolaria. Okay, that's whatever. We still have 7 cards in hand. I'm going to upkeep Unified Will their board. See what happens. They clearly do not have the chord, otherwise they would have chorded last turn. So that's why I'm doing this on their upkeep, because I'm not afraid of Chord of Calling. But I want to tap them out of some mana so they don't have, you know, chord mana, and I get to that. Yeah, okay, sweet. Okay, so this, now I'm feeling very, very heavily favored here. So we're gonna, now Unified Will does nothing. I am going to resolve Primetime on my turn. My opponent can't even do anything. They just need to leave the resto back to block. And this Primetime is actually going to go get... is going to go get a Radiant Fountain so I don't die. And we're gonna get some clues. And I feel like this deck is over. This game is over. I made a mistake though. I needed to force the chump. Because I guess there's like a very, very tiny chance that my opponent somehow... like just takes the 7. They know that I'm not swinging in for lethal now, so there's like a very slight chance that my opponent just takes the 7, and there's like some crazy combo that I'm not aware of that kills me. That chump basically seals it for us, and I'm gonna make sure that their graveyard does nothing, and this should be game. Yeah, I played like not... I just honestly I don't like standard. I don't like standard, and I just don't enjoy draft as much as most people. I really enjoy Eternal formats, so that's why even though MTG Arena looks pretty sweet, I need Sun Titan. Ooh, Titan mirror match. So then pretty good idea that we blew up. You know, that I bugged them. I didn't know about Sun Titan. Now we know. They are dead though. It's very... It looks nice and it's okay and everything, but it's one of those things where, you know, they just don't have standard there. They just only have standard, I mean, and I don't really enjoy standard at all. So I have like no incentive at all to play Arena, which is unfortunate because it looks pretty sweet. It does look pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, the logo is right down here. It's the thing that I enjoy the most, you know. That's Legacy and Modern are like what I play in Magic. I don't really play anything else really. I'm gonna take a quick Bathroom break. All right, game 3. Do I want to change anything? I don't think I do. Maybe my opponent is playing Worship. That seems like a card that, you know, that kind of deck loves bringing in against Amulet. So maybe I'll keep in the one of Rexage. Maybe take out. What can I take out? One Explorer. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's kind of the beauty, though. That's one of the advantage. Yesterday I played for the first time. I don't understand how you can play and talk at the same time. Yeah, Tom D. It's not the easiest deck to play, but I've been playing it for like over 3 years now. This is a keep, by the way. I've been playing it for over 3 years now, and you know, the lines are pretty second nature. At this point, they are just like, you know, second nature for me. Is that how you say? No. Yeah, second nature. Okay. Now I'm afraid of Magus again. Yeah, I'm gonna name Scout. I'm gonna play Sakura Drive Scout. Okay. I guess this is pretty bad against specifically Reflector Mage. That's good for us. And this Pact to Negation here is actually pretty nice as insurance. They have a Hierarch, which they're gonna play. So at this point, Rexage doesn't do much, right? Because they just they can just hardcast Saheeli if they have it. So I'm just gonna play the Amulet, and I am going to not play the Colony Garden. I'm just gonna pass. And at their end of turn, I can play the Colony, and on my turn, if nothing changes, I can just Lotus Cobra. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so they can max find a waste. The best thing they can do is find a fetch land here. Yeah, they did find a fetch land, so they play fetch land. Cobra triggers. So they can make up to 3 mana here. Okay, they're fetching all non-basics. Oh, that's a tap land. Okay, that's huge. Voice. Yep. Okay. So now I'm feeling really good about this. So Colony Garden. The only thing I want to make sure is I want to try to make sure that I do not die. That's that's literally, well, no, that's literally the worst draw in the deck. So now we actually have to take a risk. Do we? Because I will need to tap my Tribe Scout here, and we might actually die to like the stupid acidic slime. But this was primetime mana, you know? So I can find 3, 4... So they would need to like both have the... So they would need to have like... that's rough, but I'm gonna go for it. Otherwise, we just lose too much tempo. I can't not go for it here. And I go in for Azusa. So can I go for Azusa? Yeah, it's literally the worst draw in the deck, because if it were a Boros Garrison, I could still play it and then copy it with Vesuva and attack with Primetime anyway. But Stronghold is like, it gives me only 1 mana, and then I don't have enough. If I go for Azusa, I have 1 mana floating, then I can play 2 Simic Growth, but then I have the extra land, and I can play Stronghold. The problem is that now I have 2 pacts to pay for. So I think Azusa is an even worse line than this. So I'm gonna try to make sure I give myself the best possible out to not die to Acidic Slime. But I feel like I need to primetime here. I feel super pressured by my opponent, especially because now they have a lot of mana. So far they were a little bit stuck on mana, but now they have a ton of it. So I want to make sure that I give myself the best out. In order for this to happen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get an untap land, which is going to be a Gemstone Mine. And I'm going to go get a bounce land. What this does is if they deal with my Amulet and they deal with my bounce land, I still have an untap green source in hand that I can actually go that I can flash in my upkeep. And I think it's more likely for them to have an answer for a land and an Amulet than they are to have an answer for a land and the Tribe Scout. So I'm going to go get Simic Growth plus Gemstone Mine. And I'm going to bounce the Gemstone Mine. This leaves me with the most amount of mana in play, and gives me protection for the 2 things that I just said. Because if my opponent happens to like Acidic Slime, the 1 Simic Growth, and they kill my Amulet, I can, in my upkeep before the pact trigger resolves, I can still flash in the Gemstone Mine and pay for pact. I am dead to Magus of the Mundo, so that's that. But I don't think I was able to play around Magus of the Moon in any way or form. Blood Moon also kills me. My opponent is fetching for basic, so I'm really, really afraid. They're getting red mana. I'm feeling really bad about this. I'm feeling really bad about this. What do you have? Show me. Don't slow roll me. Yeah, fetching 2 forests is the same. It just kills me to... I'm dead to the same things, right? Celos Conscripts. So this will get them a lot of mana on the attack trigger. I think this is fine. They're going to steal my prime time. They will swing for 6, 10. They will swing for 10 here. But it puts me in a position where I really need to deal with these conscripts, because if they blink it or they copy it or something. So now my opponent is gonna get a ton of mana on attack step. Whoa, no attacks, only attacking with this. All right, this is good. Okay. This is not too bad. My opponent's gonna get a bunch of fetch lands, but they're gonna be tapped. So that he doesn't get a ton of mana this turn. He gets a shit ton of mana for next turn. But at that point, I already have Pact of Negation mana up. So yeah, my opponent goes ahead and he gets a couple of fetch lands. This encourages me in the sense that it doesn't look like my opponent has any kind of Doesn't look like my opponent has any kind of like acidic slime, that kind of thing play. So what would be my good draws? My good draws would be Cozy Dex Return, obviously. Uh-oh. Resto. What? What's going on here? Celos Conscripts? Okay. Whoa! Celos Conscripts actually steals a permanent. Whoa! My opponent made a terrible misplay there. They could have blinked the Celos Conscript on their end step with the Resto trigger? Oh no, because they didn't have the mana that turn. That was my bad. Yeah, okay. Never mind. But I'm like, they could have been able to like steal a land on their end step, and then they would deny me of a land for a full turn. That would have been pretty sweet if my opponent had done that. But yeah, unfortunately they did not have the mana. Okay. So no bounce lands in hand means that I can't prime time this turn. At least not before attacks. So what's my attack trigger gonna go get? My attack trigger, I still have 2 bounce lands. So my attack trigger is going to go get... I want to for sure be able to hold that Pact of Negation. That's guaranteed. They have only 1 last card in hand, and this prime time is attacking 100% too. I'm trying to think whether I try to get like a double strike land to kind of bait out some kind of like massive block or something. But yes, okay, so I attack. Can I transmute for Ballista and Ballista for a Ton? So get Tolera West, Simic Growth here, because I definitely want a 3rd blue source. And I bounce the other Simic, so that would be 1, 2, 3. I can Ballista for just 2. Ugh, that doesn't seem great. I guess I want to prime time on my second main phase. Please multiple chomp. Yeah, the voice is chomping for sure. Because they want to have an extra attacker. And a big one at that. So I can transmute for explosives. Explosives, I can blow it up on 0. But I mean, these two guys kind of check each other. Explosives can go on 1 to kill these 2 guys. Can go on 2. But if I do it on 2, it only kills this. So at that point, it's just better to get Ballista. If I go transmit for Ballista, I can Ballista for 1 land drop, 2 land drops, 3. No, just 2 mana. 2 mana is probably not enough. Ballista on 2, just kill the Lotus Cobra and just nothing else. I think the best thing I can do is just like get another prime time in play. And then yeah, I'm gonna prime time here, make sure I have the most amount of blue sources. I want to hold that pact, but I want to play... I'm gonna go get Radiant Fountain here to protect myself from Resto. Radiant Fountain, and is there anything else that I feel like it's threatening me? Bojukabog? Bojukabog nuke their graveyard. I have multiple blue sources. I remember I still have the Sacred Tribe Scout land drop. For sure I want Fountain. Maybe Vesuva wants to copy Kalni. That doesn't seem right though. I think I want to bog them. I don't want to deal with another token. And 15 seems like a high enough land. So I'm not. If I die, it's because I get comboed. I'm not going to just like randomly die to their beats. And pass the turn here. Next turn I'm transmuting for Ballista for sure. And I'm just destroying everything they have. I mean, at that point, just like the prime times are lethal. My opponent has Kiki Jiki here. My opponent has Kiki Jiki plus, yeah, I'm countering the Kiki for sure. And my opponent has like Magus of the Moon here. I just die. There's nothing I can do about it because I have to Felidar Guardian. That's not infinite, right? I mean, they can blink each other with the rest of, but they don't do anything besides that. So they just steal my blocking prime time, which is fine. I'm still at too much of a life total, I think. This is too high of a life total at this point. So that's kind of like a all-in attack. So they are just putting themselves dead on board. They just right-click attack all. But I jump here. I can trade here, and I take 6, 12, go down to 3. So that's fine. So block here, trade here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I go down to 3, and that's it. Okay. I guess I play a gemstone. And then my 2 attacking prime times are lethal. So pay blue, play blue, pay from my pact. And that's it, right? So I attack and I give one of them double strike, and that's just enough to get through one Felidar Guardian. I could do some other, some other extra things, but I don't think it's required. Especially if it's gonna take clock time for no reason. Borders Garrison, Sunhome Fortress of the Legion. And I guess this bounce land and a Tulare West, and my opponent is conceding, I think. Yep. Good old concession lag. Sweet. So you see that's one of like the sweet things about playing a deck like my opponents, it's like you can be playing literally anything. I spent all of that time playing, thinking about, okay, Magus of the Moon wrecks me here. Well, I mean, I'm gonna try to play around Magus of the Moon if I can, and it ended up, my opponent just didn't have it in their deck. So it's one of those things that, you kind of try to give yourself the best chance to win, but sometimes it's just easier than you think. Again, you always need to do these kind of things whenever you are whenever you can afford to. At one point I was like, yes, okay, this play gives me the best out to win, but it loses to exactly Magus. And if that's the case, it's like, you can only do that for so long before it actually gets to the point where you just cannot do that anymore. Sorry, I'm checking how long it would be to make it to LAX, because I have to pick up my friend at 4 and it's 1 p.m. already. So I guess I would have to leave in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I guess that's not that bad. Maybe, I mean, we were unlucky that we just played against Blue-White Control, and then we played against, Saheeli combo, which were pretty long matchups. But yeah, hopefully we get to finish this league. Okay. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody on this beautiful Thursday? This hand looks okay. This seems to be like one of those classic hands that I'm going to keep because I have lands and I have ramp, but then I'm never gonna see a prime time, and then I'm gonna die with a bunch of like cards in my hand that do nothing. But apparently we're playing against blue-white control, so that at least it's gonna give us time. It's gonna give us time to draw into prime time. Oh, look at that. I think I'm going to play Explore, see what my opponent does. That's awful. So do I enable Field of Ruin for my opponent? I think I do. I think I do enable Field of Ruin because what this does is it allows me to potentially draw another bounce land, and I'm short on lands as it is right now. I should probably play the Scout there though. Wow, this is okay. This is really rough. I'm gonna get the Tezzerator West over these other two, but this is pretty bad. Okay, we might lose this game because we just dirtle too hard. And the worst part is that this makes me think that my opponent just didn't have this Flooded Strand until this turn. Because otherwise, why would they show me a Field of Ruin and allow me to play my turns around it? Oh, they're on blue, white, red. Blue, white, red control. So then I'm really happy I didn't play the second Tribe Scout then. Yep, because exactly of that. So I think I play both dudes here. And do I Ghost Quarter them? I don't think I do. I'm just going to let this go. In fact, I'm going to play Tezzerator. Maybe they will destroy this instead. But we are in hope we draw primetime territory. We'll see what my opponent does here. I am going to be very, very much wary of Logic Knot here. My opponent's gonna bolt the Azusa probably. Yep, Azusa down. That's fine. That's a good draw right there. That's a real good draw right there. What to do now? I mean, I guess I can just force them to Logic Knot this. Because it has to be Logic Knot. They do not have Cryptic mana here. So I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and just Pact here. And we get blowout by Logic Knot, but I honestly don't know. I don't think that waiting makes it better for us. They need to have exactly Logic Knot though. They do have it. Fuck. At least field plus whatever doesn't. Yeah, they have the Logic Knot. This sucks. I think that was correct though, because once they actually start having Cryptic mana, things get way worse for us. They dealt for 3. Jeez. Okay. So next turn we have to pay for Pact, which is of course bad for us. Maybe the fact that they didn't field me was kind of like screaming that they couldn't like destroy my things. They do not have another source though, so I'm gonna throw this Azusa in there, see what happens. And I'm sequence this because maybe my opponent thinks I'm a bad player and I played this wrong, and maybe they will kill the Azusa in response to the trigger. It didn't happen, so whatever, never mind. Okay, so prime time is a good draw. Cavern will be a good draw. We'll see what my opponent destroys here. They destroyed my semi-growth. Okay, cool. So now, you know, even if I draw Gemstone Mine or something like that, it's not an absolutely awful draw. They're gonna path my Asusa. Yes, please, yes, please, yes, please, yes, yes. Feels so good to get your Asusa path. It's like, I just feel like there was like a slight win right there for me. Maybe this baits a Cryptic. Okay, no Cryptics. Asusa then. Let's see if this baits a Cryptic. Nope, no Cryptic. Womp womp. Snap Bolt, maybe? We got a Snap Bolt incoming. Snap Bolt indeed. That's fine. They're gonna kill my Asusa, and honestly, if they went face and they attack with Snap here, I would definitely trade. Also, this plant here is going to chomp the Snap. I'll take my chomp block while I can. And this, my opponent's deck, the only things that have more than 2 power fly. So, you know, something like Dandelion Click or something like, I'm gonna pass the turn here. I'm going to save this Amulet till I get to a point where I can like play multiple spells in a turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 mana in play. Fourth Asusa. Really? I would have preferred to draw 4 prime times, but sure. I mean, I'll play the Asusa, and if they offer the trade, I'll take it. Maybe they will use a removal spell on the Asusa. It's kind of fortunate that my opponent doesn't have like an Ascanta going or, you know, some kind of like card advantage engine. Yes, yes, I'm trading. Yes, thank you. Alright. Going to hold that one up to maybe we get to a point where I get to play multiple spells in the same turn. I doubt seriously that my opponent will like throw some kind of colonnade attack. If they do though, I'm ecstatic. No, this is the fairy, which is much, of course, much worse for me. This kind of sucks. Okay, but they are not on Cryptic mana now. Wow, they didn't even leave up Field of Ruin. I'm going to start with Ancient Steering, see what my opponent does. I find Tolaria West. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to pay 1 for Amulet. No, not interested in countering that opponent. No. Damn it, you're so smart. So we're gonna float blue mana, and then this will untap. Now I'm going to play Pact. What do we do here? I doubt a lot that this guy is resolving. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, we can just hope, I guess. No Logic Knot. Please. Yes, Logic Knot. Damn it. It's like they always have it. They have 2 in their deck, and they always have it. Wow, that's like probably the funniest thing anybody has ever said on this stream. That's a beautiful comment. Thank you, Squirmit. Thanks for sharing that. That was beautiful. That was simply beautiful. So here I'm wondering whether I want to keep my opponent off of double white. I don't think I care, honestly. Okay, we have achieved the now we're in real trouble part of the game. My opponent has Strip Mine in play. Actually, Strip Mine with upside. I guess it's Wasteland. It cannot destroy basics. There we go. This is fine though. We can still play for Pact. My opponent did in main phase, so they could have like their Teferi mana up. Ooh, more Fields of Ruin. And now my opponent has like Snapcaster, Logic Knot. Yeah, this is kind of slipping away from us real quick. I'm leaving double blue mana up here, because if we find a bounce land, we can transmute for something. That's not a terrible draw. That's not a terrible draw at all, actually. This Teferi is getting dangerously close to ulting. It's at 8, right? Yeah, actually I'll do this. Force the issue. At least 2 Logic Knots are gone, so now it's basically just Cryptic that we need to worry about. But my opponent is drawing 2 cards a turn. They have like multiple multiple lands that do stuff. I'm not so worried about this, and actually this is good information for me to have. How many Fields of Ruin does my opponent play? They use 3 Field of Ruins already, so they probably have like 3 or 4, which is very unusual for blue, white, red builds. Usually they only play like 2, maybe 3. Wow, that's value. My opponent didn't take 2 damage off of that shock land. Jeez, so good. Reclamation Sage. Yep, probably not too good. I guess I'll cast it. Of course it will destroy nothing, but just, you know, as a way to pressure Teferi, I guess, because otherwise this guy is ulting next turn. Cancel. Nope, I have to choose something and then choose no. Nope. Lightning Helix. Okay, whatever. If we get to Teferi Ultimate, I don't think I can win anymore. So I will just, at that point, I will just like start F6ing and try to get as much clock equity as I can. I would probably, you know, when we are like 5 minutes ahead, I will probably stop. That's pretty greedy. My opponent must have a lot of things. But I'm learning about their list anyway. So that's good. Now they have to go to cleanup step. Nice. The turn 14 Sakura Tribe Scout. My opponent is discarding Wrath. Jeez, so much power. At this point, you know, everything is just, it just doesn't matter. Again, I'm trying to get like, you know, a little bit ahead on clock. Opponent gets an emblem. Now they will start triggering a bunch. Sure, I'll play the Grove and pass the turn. Also, it's kind of weird that we had like 2 Tuleria Wests, and we basically had no bow slats whatsoever. Like the only two bounces that we drew were before we actually saw the Toria Wests. Yep. The Fairy Ultimate is kind of gross, actually. The Fairy is just a really good card. I think the modern control decks really needed the Fairy. Prime time. Too late for you, brother. I love how Opt kills this prime time now. Opt is a removal spell. Oh, Cryptic is like double removal spell. That's a Cryptic, that's a 3/1. That's crazy. Yeah, sure. Again, we cannot win from here. But I'm just having my opponent have their fun, and then we'll concede shortly right now. I love how why is Matter Reshaper there? Every trigger is a Matter Reshaper trigger. I hope my opponent just they attack with Colonnade, and we get him. We get him. But yeah, I'm learning about my opponent's build, which is interesting. 3 Field of Ruin is for sure something that I did not see coming. So they do have Spell Snare. That's very important to know too. So now they're just countering and drawing. Okay. So I'm just gonna do this right now. So we make sure that we die the very, very slow death. But yeah, Spell Snare is interesting. Not many control decks actually run Spell Snare, so it's interesting that my opponent is doing this. Is doing so. But yeah, we are definitely way beyond the point of no return. Oh, secure the waste. You see, this is why you don't concede. My opponent is showing me things. So you see, my opponent actually is playing secure the wastes as their win con. That's valuable for us to know because it gives explosives way more value. So now I know for sure I want at least 1 explosives against this control deck. Probably the second one too. I will probably play 1. And my opponent has not shown me Ascanta yet. And of course I don't know whether they have of course, I don't want if my opponent has Damping Spear, because if they did, they wouldn't play it main deck, right? For obvious reasons. Matchup win percentage here and against Blue-White Control. I like my matchup against Blue-White better than against Blue-White-Red. Mostly because... Snap Bolt, okay, so I am actually dead. Okay, sweet. Against Blue-White, your Tribe Scouts are actually really good. We played against Blue-White, I think it was the first matchup. The first match that we played this league was against Blue-White, and Sakura Tribe Scout was a house. It allowed us to play quite freely. Also, Tracker is excellent, and it's basically guaranteed to be a 2-for-1, whereas here, maybe for Tracker they just bolt it and that's it. It's just a 1-for-1. But usually I think I have a better win percentage against straight Blue-White than against Blue-White-Red or Jeskai. Here, cards that I do not want. Actually, Tribe Scout they are a little bit better, but my opponent showed me 3 Fields of Ruin. That's a lot of Fields of Ruin for a 3-color mana base. That's rough. My opponent showed me Spell Center, so I definitely don't want Explorers. Explorers out. Nature's Claim in. Spell Pierce is in for sure. Reclamation Sage is not awesome, but maybe it's okay. Note that against Blue-White, I do not like Obstinate Bailoff. I don't think it's a good card. But against Blue-White-Red, usually the matches ended up being a race. And of course, in race matches, Baloth is pretty good. Also, against blue white red, Baloth cannot be bolted, so it's basically it needs to be path, which every path that my opponents use on non-prime times is of course excellent for us. Amulet is not awesome, but on the play I like keeping them. Maybe I'll side one on the draw. Actually, that's the opposite. I probably take one out on the play and side one on the draw, but it doesn't matter. Maybe I don't want a grove here. What's my worst land? Actually, it's Colony Garden, I think. Colony Garden out, and probably one pact out. I'd rather have actual threats than pacts. We'll see how we do. We'll see how we do. Is there any card I might want? Hornet Queen is not excellent. Maybe a Braid. A Braid can kill Vendilion Clique if my opponent has any kind of what's this stupid card? Spell Queller. It also kills that, and it kills Damping Sphere. So maybe I want a Braids, but I mean I just sided out all 4 explorers because I didn't want to give them spell snare targets. Though maybe my opponent sided out their spell snares. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna be on the play. This hand is slow, but it's very keepable. This is on the very keepable aspect of slow hands. The reason for that is that we know we're playing against control and we have Cavern. This land has so much value in this matchup. I am going to try to not play Walking Ballista unless I can play it for over 3, or my opponent plays a Jace or something like that. I don't think that these lists run Jace, so it will probably have to be... that's not a bad draw, that's an Azusa here. Play a land and pass the turn. If my opponent taps out for an Ascanta or something like that, I think I'm going to back for an Azusa. If they do not, I'm just going to hold steady. Holding steady. Next turn I can actually transmute Teleria West, which is pretty sweet. And I think I want to get a Pact of Negation. Just to have it in hand, and then on the same turn we can, resolve the prime time with Cavern mana. And okay, so that kind of messes up the math there. I'm going to keep playing non-bounce lands then, because I don't want my opponent to actually, I want my opponent to hold up these 3 mana for as long as possible. It's kind of sweet that we have actual prime times instead of, yes, you see? If my opponent just fields here, yeah, that's great for me. That's really good for me. My opponent fielded the correct land though, that's for sure. My opponent did kill the correct land there. That's cool. Okay. Amulet. What you gonna do about this one? What you gonna do about this one? Nothing. Okay, so my opponent does not have Cryptic. We know that for a fact. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to play a Ballista for 2. And if my opponent counters it, I'm actually somewhat happy. Wear Tear is of course not a 2-for-1, so that's fine. But I want to have some kind of pressure against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I want to have some kind of pressure against potential planeswalkers coming down next turn. We'll see. If my opponent paths this, I'm going to ping them for 1 and take the forest. If my opponent does not, if they bolt it, I'm just going to of course deal 2 to them. They have the bolt, okay, that's fine. Ping you for 1. Ping you for 2. Okay. Now, actually, if they tap out for a Teferi or something, I'm actually quite happy about that. No field right there is huge for me. Yep. So this is gonna be an uncounterable prime time, and this game is pretty much over. I have 2 more prime times hanging out in my hand. Here I'm going to get... I'm going to expect this prime time to get pathed. What? This is just like a bounce your prime time. If that's what they are doing, this is great for me. They are just like bounce and return target. Whoa. Yeah, that's not a good play. That is not a good play. I think they're trying to deny me mana, but at this point I don't really care about mana anyway. I could bog them here. I think I'm gonna bog them plus bounce land. The reason for this is that I want to have I really want this cavern to be in my hand right now, so I can set up another uncounterable Titan for next turn. Bounce the cavern and pass a turn. My opponent doesn't have path too, which is important to note. Okay. So now I'm going to go to combat and see what my opponent does. This is interesting. Upkeep path, sure. Yes. Go get a basic forest. That wasn't draw step. Okay, that makes sense. That's an okay play from my opponent. I'm going to play the Amulet. This will probably get countered, which is perfectly fine with me. It does not, so that's even better for us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we've already used our land drop for the turn, so I cannot haste this prime time, which is unfortunate. But it's still fine. Snapcaster path. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it is unfortunate, but I could not really play around this. There wasn't really any way that I could have done that, because I just did not have enough land drops to make an uncounterable, to make sure that I can path, that I can bog again. But that's fine. Again, the only thing that I really care about right now is that my opponent does not I'm gonna go get a blue pact here. That my opponent does not have really a threat here. They do have this Snapcaster, but that doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna get a Semi-Growth. Okay, so I'm going to basically bait counter magic with this Azusa. We'll see if it works. It did not. Okay, it's fine. And now I'm going to transmute for a blue pact. It a bolt. Okay, that's fine. So my opponent is just very quickly running out of cards. Again, I'm going to get the cavern, and now I'm going to get a blue pact here. I do have a green pact already in hand, and I want to make sure that that green pact resolves. I could also get a second green pact, but I think this is fine too. I think both plays are fine. I want to place the land for turn. Ooh, if they tap out for like a Jace or something here, or Teferi, I guess. Vendilion Click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess this is. I gotta pack this. They have negate here, or just like logic nut. Okay. Okay, so my opponent got me good. They might actually be able to. That main phase click was pretty huge. My ballista is gone already, so that's of course troublesome for me. But my opponent is completely out of cards. That was not a bad draw right there. I can at least, I have no packs to pay for, and I can at least deal with this click, so they only have the snap as the only clock. And I just draw a Primeval Titan, so that's also pretty good. This one should be lethal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I probably actually want to do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep a green mana, a blue mana up actually. And this is actually lethal right here. Yes. So I'm going to get Boros Harrison plus Slayer's Stronghold. I did not play my land for turn, so that's also pretty good. My opponent has no cards in hand. And I want to actually present lethal here. So this, going to explosives on 3 to make sure that we have lethal. Replay the land. And we have enough mana to attack, get double strike land, and blow up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, yeah. Yes, so we're gonna get third Tolaria, Sun Home, and this is lethal. My opponent is smart and they are not conceding yet because of the same reason that we were not conceding last game. These games tend to go really long, so my opponent wants to make sure that they are getting back their clock equity, especially because we're lagging quite a bit right here. Oh, there you go. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then we'll play game number 3. So my opponent is on that tempo plan, and that makes me kind of want Kozilek's Return a little bit more. They are running clicks, they are running snaps, and they are also running that thing, Secure the Wastes. So that's why I'm wondering if I should be just running a carry turn, probably like in the place of the Rex Sage or the Nature's Claim. I think I will lose more often to the, and I will say this and then we will lose right now to the tempo plan, of course, but I think I will lose more often to like their planeswalkers and not being able to punish their planeswalkers, so I want to have like answer to their card advantage engines rather than their 2-1s and their 3-1s. But it's interesting though. We're gonna go with the same setup. This hand is pretty damn good. We'll take it. It would be nice if these were like basically any other bounce land ever, but we can still probably sequence things in a way that allows us to still manage to have enough green sources to cast the prime time anyway. You're gonna tap out? No tapping out. Okay. Ballista. That's not a bad draw. This is a card that I like, just, you know, having in hand. Probably not drawing it on turn 2, but more like drawing it on like turn, I don't know, like 5 or something. I do not want to enable their logic knot, so I'm just not going to play into it. Just going to play Bajuka Bog and pass the turn. There's no need for me to try to speed things up. If the game goes slow, it gives me the chance to like have a better working mana base, make sure that I'm not falling behind. Because the logic not there just kind of wrecks me a little bit. So there's no need for that. Draw step click. Okay. This is good. If they get the prime time, I will play a Susa, and then I will play a pretty big Ballista. If they take the Ballista instead, okay. So that's interesting. Okay, what's the best sequencing that I can do? So I can play Gruul Turf, okay, that's land number 1. I bounce, and I float a blue mana of this, okay? I have blue mana floating, and I have a Susa. Then I play this as my second land, and then I can play probably Boros Garrison, and that will be, yes, that way I can transmute this turn and go get the Cavern, which would be pretty huge. I think what my opponent's play was fine, though. It makes sense that they want to start getting a clock going. So bounce this, then play a Susa, leaving blue mana floating. Then play Tolaria West. Play Tolaria West, and I'm going to play. I was considering playing this so I could, so they could not like get me out of green mana, but then I thought about it again, and I realized that if they do that, they are actually giving me green mana with the thing. What's his name? Why can't I think the name of the card? The Field of Ruin. Okay. This is gonna get Cavern. And then we pass the turn. And next turn we have an uncounterable prime time, unless they have another Vendilion click, which is literally the only way they can stop it from happening. And that prime time can go get another prime time, or they can go get another Ballista, which also would not be bad. Basically, again, turning their clock into nothing. It's not a bad proposition. So they cannot tap out here. They cannot tap out for anything. I guess they're looking for lands, so opt. Yep, they're looking for lands. Did they find the land? They bottomed, and it doesn't look like they found the land. Yeah, just helix this. Just helix this and not play anything else. That's good for you. That's a good play right there. Ah, they're just gonna bolt it. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Again, we draw the most. Anyway, I was not going to be. I was not going to be. I was not going to be actually hasting a prime time this turn. It's way more valuable for me to transmute here. My opponent will path in response, like they always like doing for whatever reason. Yes. And I'm going to go get a forest. And I think what I'm going to do is my opponent stepped out, so I'm going to go get Tolaria plus Simic Growth, and I'm going to pact for a prime time right now to play around potential counter magic. Bounce this, transmute right now, and I'm going to go get a Summoner's Pact and cast Summoner's Pact right now. With the mana that they have, they cannot stop me from pacting here and having the prime time in my hand. is very, very good against counter magic because of course cavern. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. I can still cast prime time and encounter a prime time next turn even after paying for the pact. They wear tear. Okay. So 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. So I pay for my pact. Blue pact is it's a good draw right there. Blue pact is a really good draw. So they destroy this. I really want to not give value to their snapcasters. It's really unfortunate that we actually have the stupid Vesuva in play already. This is a tough one. I kind of don't want to time walk myself though. This seems really bad, like wasting this turn to play around their potential snapcasters. I think I'm just going to, yeah, I'm just going to just jam the prime time. And again go get blue land plus Vesuva. Plus semi-growth plus transmute. This of course will give me more blue sources to pay for my pact and upkeep. Here what I'm going to bounce though is I'm going to bounce the Gruul Turf, the Vesuva. I want to have the most options possible and I want to have an extra blue source in case I need to pact something. Like Teferi. If they tap out for Teferi here, I'm pacting it. We already paid for this primetime pact. If they tap out for Teferi, I packed it and I basically just win the game, I think. Yep. That's game. Jeez, Pact of Negation is so good in this deck. Just such a good card. It's just so... it's just really powerful. Just really, really powerful. Why do pacts exist, says my opponent. GG's. Give them the GG's. Yeah, pacts are really, really powerful in this deck. Yep. So that was nice. That was a really, really sweet match. That was a really sweet match. To be fair, we did get a little bit lucky, especially game 2 when they like clicked us. I was at one point I was like a little bit worried, but you know at that point we still have. I think we had only used one primetime by that point, so we had like a bunch of Toledo Wests and as well as you know the actual primetimes and the pacts to go get. So I don't think we were that unlikely to just go ahead and find the primetime. We were lucky and we just found it immediately. But we even had outs, you know. We even had outs to kind of try to get there. You keep amulets against control matchup. Yes, I do keep amulets against control, and I explained this in previous videos. Basically, the reason why I keep amulets is I don't keep them all. I keep only 2 against blue white. And I think I keep 3 against blue, white, red. The reason for that is I think that blue, white, red is more of a tempo deck than a control deck when it comes to this matchup in particular. The games that we lose, and I play the matchup a lot. The games that I lose are because I don't get going, or they just deal with all my prime times. The only way for them to deal with all my prime times is when they have an actual... and I never updated the title. There we go. Whenever they just land some kind of planeswalker, and then we're not able to punish them. When the control deck taps out on turn 4 for a Jace or turn 5 for a Teferi, you want to be ready to just play a primetime on that very turn. And having access to amulets is very much a good way of doing that. I used to side out all my primetimes before Jace was unbanned and before Teferi was a card. So the worst thing that your opponent could do was play a Gideon that you just play you just play an explosives on 3 and you just kill the Gideon. No big deal. But Jace and Teferi, if they are out and uncontested for like 2 turns, they start getting out of hand and they actually start being able to keep up with the card advantage that Primetime generates. This is really rough. We're playing against Zach Elsik. I'm not gonna keep this hand, of course, but I'm pretty sure that he must be on some kind of KCI or something like that. We'll see though. I'm going to keep this hand and be very unhappy about it. Explore is not a bad draw though. I'll keep it on top. I think these gemstone mine counters are gonna be important, so I'm gonna play Tribe Scout through the cavern on Scout. We'll see what he's on. Polluted Delta. At least that's not KCI. That's good for us. Death Shadow? That definitely looks like Death Shadow. That definitely looks like Death Shadow. So the Explode is actually kind of sweet here. It allows us to ramp. Ballista, yeah, that's not a great draw. Okay, we'll see what happens here. My opponent Inquisitions or Thoughtseize, that of course will be very unfortunate. Damping Sphere, main deck. Fuck me, right? Okay, so he's playing some kind of... I'm going to copy the gemstone here. He's playing some kind of this stupid thing. What's his name? We're short on land, so I wanna start clocking them. He's playing some kind of Thopter Sword combo deck. For sure, they for sure have ensnaring bridges. They do have discard spells and stuff like that. Yeah, some kind of like artifact based Weir of Invention kind of deck. Thopter Foundry. Okay, that's not great for me. Gemstone. I think I want to start swinging in. I don't think I want to use the gemstone counters, so I'm going to, you know, just swing for 2. Swing for 3, I mean. And I'm going to play the Amulet, and hopefully we draw a bounce land. We are very, very interested in drawing a bounce land here. Uh-oh. Breeding Pool, so I guess he has Abrupt Decays. Good to know. Field of Ruin is bounce. I mean, because it will just generate 2 mana. Even though there's a Damping Sphere in play, I can play it twice. It adds 1 mana every time, but that's fine. I just want to start having mana so I can make this Ballista grow and hopefully, you know, beat him before he finds a decay or a fatal push or something like that. That's value right there, huh? That's nice. But yeah, we're short on mana here. Explosives will be a heck of a draw. Okay, so they for sure have Ensnaring Bridge then. Okay. Alright. So that's 1. Play Bounce Land. 2. Bounce this. 3 and 4. Put a +1/+1 counter on Ballista. ping here, and swing for 3. If they want to use their turn activating Field of Ruin to kill my Celestial Sanctuary, I'm fine with it. I don't care. I just want to deal as much damage as I can right now before my opponent actually goes ahead and finds an answer to this Ballista. Otherwise, this Ballista is going to... It's going to win the game. Yep. And this is why I did not mind at all drawing a bounce land here. You see, even though it taps for 1, just now I have multiple amulets which give me an out. And all of this is extra mana that I can dump into the Ballista. It definitely feels like my opponent has... I'm gonna bounce this now. Definitely feels like my opponent has a Way of Invention here. Definitely feels like he has a Way of Invention here. They have 1 card left in hand. Okay. Opponent takes 4. Okay. The fact that they are not cracking the Field of Ruin, it's really, really bad news for me. Yep, they know that they were drawing a Google card and they wanted to draw it. So I am pretty fucked here, I think. I think I'm pretty screwed. He either has the combo or he has some answer to this Ballista. Yeah, there's the Weir. He's going to Weir for 2. Going to go get the sword combo. Gonna gain 1. Maybe I should have... maybe I should have just left the Sakura untapped and actually just used that mana to put another counter on the Ballista. Yeah, I think I was too afraid and I was, you know, rightfully punished. Okay, so now I have 2 counters, 2, 3, 4. Put a counter. Yeah, I think I should have gone for lethal last turn. That's unfortunate. We still have outs though. We still have outs. We can still draw explosives. Explosives basically wins the game on the spot because I can explosives on 2 and I can explosives on 2 and blow up both the foundry and the damping sphere. And the sword, I guess. But, you know, each turn that goes by, my opponent is like getting away. Prime time would not be bad either. As long as my opponent doesn't have... As long as my opponent doesn't have any kind of ensnaring bridge or stuff like that, prime time is still a good out. That combo is just so annoying to do on Modo though. Oh, okay. So my opponent just drew the perfects. Yep, so I'm just dead here. They just drew exactly the perfect the perfect card. What this does is basically they sack 5 tokens and they take an extra turn. So basically it's go infinite because they can make like 1 artifact for each mana that they spend. So at that point, it's just they just make infinite mana and they kill me. So what do I want? I want Spell Pierce, I want a Braids, I want Nature's Claim, I want Tracker, I want Second Explosives. Cards I do not want. I don't want Colony Garden. I do not want Explorers. Probably I can take them all out. And Drive Scout seems okay. Maybe I can shave on 1 Pact. Pact of Negation seems a little bit iffy. But it's one of those cards that I, you know, as you saw that game, if I had a Pact in hand, we would have just won, right? Because I just counter whatever it is that their business spell. There usually gets to that point where you're just like one card away. You know, if your opponent draws that 1 card in that very last turn, they win. Otherwise, you win. Still, off note, yeah, I think I fucked up that game and I should have gone for lethal. But I was trying to play around some kind of removal spell from my opponent. When I draw my prime times, probably gonna shave 1 Summoner Respect and 1 Azusa. Okay, let's go. Crypt doesn't really stop the combo, because if they have 1 of those on the stack, then they can do that again. So as long as they keep 1 mana up, they can always be, you know, I'm gonna keep this hand by the way. We have Interaction, we have Ramp in Amulet, and we have Ways to Dig. So I like this hand. I'm going to start here. This opens up Azusa as a pretty good draw on turn 2. So they would, as long as they do not ever spend the very last mana, they can always respond to the Crypt trigger to throw the sword in the vein and then get it back again. So Crypt does not stop the combo. It stops shenanigans like Academy Ruins Recursion and that kind of thing. So it does stop that, but that's all it really does. I assume that he's gonna go for Explosives here or Tolaria West. That's also pretty good name. Jeez. That's not a terrible draw. I could pack for Azusa, but now that my Tolaria Wests are actually locked, I don't think I want to start, you know, basically spewing value. I mean, this has to be a Titan for now. At worst, it can be a Rex Sage, and Rex Sage can blow up the Beneedle. I think I'm gonna get Gemstone Mine here. It's like the best possible land. It's a land that I always want to have in this kind of matchup because I want to have red mana through. Damping Sphere for a Braid. Okay. Let's see what's up here. Overall, I think this matchup is good for us, but I think it's possible they have the inevitability, and what we have is just we have like better speed. And like we just have better interaction than they do. But I think if we go to like turn 20 or 25, I think they have a better time at those turns. So they put 1 bottom, 1 top. I really want to find an Azusa or some kind of ramp here. I'm considering preemptively playing these explosives on 2, just so I don't get comboed next turn. I think I'm just going to pass. Hold up steady. Hold steady. Hold steady. I think all 3 of my cards are really good, so I don't think, you know, Inquisition is gonna be ever bad for him. If he draws any kind of discard spell, it just gets me anyway. Now I kind of wish I had seen some amount of like Azuzas or Explorers. Maybe my sideboarding was wrong, and I'm just undervaluing the ramp. Damping Sphere, that's fine. We can still deal with that. Okay, Pact. Blue Pact is not a bad draw there. I'll add 2 mana here. Play Explosives on 2. And then I'm gonna play this and bounce the gemstone, so we reset it. So we already have enough mana for explosives, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to blow this up. The game is going slow, but I already have, like, you know, pack protection, so I can kind of play around the things that he's doing. So I want to kind of start getting to the not blowing up the explosives basically until I know that, you know, I'm getting more value, or I'm actually, you know, that I don't need to blow it up basically. I don't think I need to hurry up. I think it's also stopping my opponent quite a bit. For example, here I have the second amulet. Oh, but my opponent has a Field of Ruin in play. I'm gonna kind of force the action on that Field of Ruin, which is good. I think I'm going to get a Cavern of Souls here. I want more lands. My opponent has the Field of Ruin, you know, PSD onboard tricks basically. I'm gonna name Giant. I'm gonna try to hold this up basically until I have primetime mana, which is gonna be next turn. See my opponent. He has nothing end of turn. Thoughtseize. That's very unfortunate. That was rough. Now they take my prime time. That was really smart of them, holding up the Thoughtseize until, you know, the turn before I have primetime mana. My opponent is of course no slouch. They know what they're doing. Considering that's what happened, I'm going to still not play anything. I'm going to play the Gemstone Mine this turn. Still playing patiently. Now I can even pay for the Pact even through Damping Sphere. So that's also pretty sweet. That's also pretty sweet. Okay. I'm not gonna be playing around Cross and Grip or any kind of thing like that, blowing up my explosives. That's just not a card that sees modern play. But that's like probably one card that would blow me out here. The way things are going though, it's not the worst. I have to be aware though that my opponent can instant spear, get Damping Spheres at instant speed. That's what I mean. So okay, this forces the issue. It kind of gets me. All right, you got me. You got me. Because I'm not gonna pact a Python Needle. That's just not happening. That is not happening. They're gonna name Ballista here. I think I did sign in the second explosives. Yep, second explosives is in. So if they don't name explosives, I can still like explosives on one. Getting rid of both of their pithing needles, which will be pretty sweet. Yep, they name Ballista. As expected. Thopter Foundry. I think this one I need to pact. Because otherwise they just combo us. So yeah, I'll pack this one. Field of Ruin doesn't stop me from paying for pact. Oh, they just had a second. Yeah, sure. Must be nice. Must be freaking nice. Wow, this really fucking sucks. My opponent just had it all. They just had it all. That's really unlucky. I think I'm gonna play this now. Play around them having discard spells. I saw way more discard spells than I saw interactive spells. Oh, but I can't grow the Ballista anymore. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I was thinking I can play this now and then, you know, start growing it afterwards to play around discard spells. But then I remember that I can't grow the Ballista. So, yep. That was a punt. I should not have done that. That was my mistake. Okay, how do we get out of this? Prime time, as usual, is our way to get out of this. I think Primeval Titan would be a really good draw. Rex Sage would be a really good draw. Oh, they just have the bridge. Never mind. Okay, that's good. That's good right here. Okay, so what do I do? I can explosives on one, which will blow up my amulet, but it will unlock both my Tolaria West and it will unlock my Ballista as well. I think I'm going to explosives on one. That was a good draw. So I'm going to play a land. And this allows me to pact for Primeval Titan. Can I do everything? So I will play land, bounce itself. So that's 1, 2, 3 to transmute, plus 1 to play for the explosives. Okay, so that's both land drops. Then I have 1, 2 to pay for the explosives, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm 1 mana short of playing a Primeval Titan this turn. That's pretty unfortunate. I'm exactly 1 mana short. Exactly 1 mana short. Is there anything I can do different? I don't think there is. And I have to do this before I do anything else, because I guess I can also do this on 2 and get Thopter Foundry. Kill the Thopter Foundry. So how many answers do I have? I have the Ensnaring Bridge. I could also yeah, I don't have a deck list command, but we're gonna look at the deck list in a little bit. If you this match is almost over, so sorry, Shoes Cubed. Sorry about that. I think I'm just 1 mana short, and that sucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's transmute. And that's 1 mana for the explosives. 2 mana to blow up the explosives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm 1 mana short. What I can do is I can blow up the... I can go get Tireless Tracker. I can go get Reclamation Sage. Reclamation Sage can go kill the Thopter Foundry. But then my Ballista will be unlocked, so I can start shooting down their dudes. No, I can't. That's the point. I have to do all of this before, because I need to kill the Python Needle before I get to transmute. There is not a third explosive. There's only two. This is the only one. This is the last one that I have. And that's the issue. I am exactly 1 mana short to do everything that I want to do, and I have to do it in this order for sure, because otherwise I cannot activate Tezzerator West. So I'm forced into doing this in this order. Okay, so I think I'm just going to play explosives on 1. I'm going to play this again. And I'm just going to use 1 mana and bounce this. Use these to blow up the both Python needles. So this blows up the needles. Now my Tezzerator West is actually active. What I can do is I can go get, since now my I'm actually active with my, so I can go for the greedier play, which is not do anything this turn, just put a counter on the ballista, not do anything this turn, and go get Rex and go get prime time next turn, play prime time and transmute, and then for the following turn I have Rex Age. But I think by that point the Thopter Foundries are just going to get out of control, so I'm just going to go get Rex Age here, and I'm going to destroy the Foundry. I can deal with the bridge later. I'm not in a hurry. I just don't, I need to not get comboed basically. I need to not get comboed. That was a rough turn. And now my opponent has like a lot of very live outs. So we break that up. Then we pass the turn. I can deal with this amount of Thopters, that's fine. But I just need my opponent to draw a couple of blanks for you know, 1 or 2 turns. That's fine. Imagine my opponent does not want to get attacked by a ballista, so they will play whatever they drew. You have to be fucking kidding me. This is insane. Wow. Wow. Okay. So we got top decked out of this game. Like, jeez. Now that's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that was like literally the only card. There's no way my opponent is playing 4 Thopter Foundries. So that was like the only one. Yes. I just got top decked ridiculously. Okay. I went through all that trouble and we are still in the same spot. Yep. We got fucked. Both games we got absolutely destroyed by my opponent top decking the exact card they needed in the very last turn that they needed it. In our previous match, I think we would have been able to stabilize there. But yeah, but they drew like the very last part of their combo to actually go infinite and get infinite turns, so we just died. And then this, we made through all that trouble, we thought and we tried to figure out the best possible line, and then I think we found it. But my opponent top deck exactly the only out that they had. I guess at that point they could also have they could also have like Weir of Invention or something. But yeah, I don't think we can keep up with this. So this is GG's. Yep. We got there. That's really unfortunate. I usually really like that kind of matchup for Amulet, since we have so many things that they need to be locking down. But yep, my opponent got to the point where they needed to like top deck exact cards both times, and they did. I will be right back. Okay, good beats. This is gonna be my last match here, and hopefully it takes less. That I think every single one of our matches today took like 40 minutes or so. We played a super grindy league. But yeah, I'm just getting really hungry. It's almost 2:30 here, and I also have to go pick up a friend from the airport. This is a keep. I'll keep. No idea what we're playing against, but this is like a average hand. We have an amulet, we have some amount of ramp. Okay, so we'll see what my opponent is on. Depending on what they are on, was what I will do first here. If I see that they are okay, so they are on dredge. Since that is the case, I'm going to lead on Tribe Scout. So this is gonna be one of those matches that if we happen to find the prime time, we will win. If we don't find the prime time, we will lose. But I don't think that my opponent's clock is gonna be fast enough to resolve prime time. Even I think we can, even if we have like a turn 4 prime time, that's gonna be enough. So it's basically all about whether we do find what? That's like the worst draw in our deck. What is okay, sure. My opponent is not playing like your average dredge list. I'm doing it this way because if we find an amulet here, we can actually play it. We do not find an amulet there, and okay, yeah, at least we bottomed a bunch of bad cards, so there's that. I want to start playing blue sources so we can leave Tularia West as a potential out, but yeah, that then having like Ballista in their dredge deck. But that's BridgeVine. I don't think BridgeVine plays Bloodgas. Bloodgas doesn't trigger BridgeVine. Bridge from below. Okay, so they are on some kind of BridgeVine list. I mean, but price amount. I mean, these dudes do not synergize with BridgeVine at all. Whatever. It still looks like a matchup where Tormod's Crypt is gonna be good. Do they have discard spells too? Oh no, some Tassiger. No, Beaster's here. What? Ooh, my opponent's going deep. You're gonna sack Bloodgas, get a 2/2, then play a land to get their Bloodgas back and a Scry. Jeez, so much value. So much value. I mean, my opponent's deck is kind of sweet. That's kind of awesome. They get 2 Scries and 2 zombies of the Viscers here. That's pretty freaking sweet. That's pretty freaking sweet. Okay, I can get behind what my opponent's doing. I can definitely get behind what my opponent's doing. That's awesome. So what are we looking for? We're looking for... so we need an Azusa here. We need an Azusa because their clock is actually way faster than I was expecting. Their clock is way faster than I expected. This is not a bad draw because this stops the the bridge from below shenanigans. I'm playing this so we can potentially copy it with Vesuva if we actually find a Amulet Titan, which is not looking like it's gonna be the case. This is gonna be a lot of bridge from below triggers. I think my opponent is trying to figure out what the best way to do this is gonna be. I do think that the best way to do this is going to be right now. So they can get yet another zombie and they can get the blood gas back too. So they can get 2 more zombies plus... Yeah. My opponent sees the line. So they're gonna get 2 more zombies plus 2 more blood gas triggers. By 2 more blood gas triggers, I mean the blood gas getting back the amalgam, that's what I meant. Looks like a list that popped up since M11 with Stitch Supplier in it. Yeah, it's so weird that like Stitch Supplier has been kind of sweet. Like I was there's like the legacy deck that kind of got like a pretty sweet resurgence with zombie with goblin bombardment and like a bunch of like bloodghasts and carrion feeders and stuff like that, and it's just like, you know, discards dudes for value. It's super sweet. That's so many 2/2s. I don't think I can raise this amount of 2/2s right here. Going to pass the turn here. Since I can't raise the amount of 2/2s, I think at this point I am getting to, you know, explosives on 0 or bust. This is a lot of zombie tokens. This is a lot of freaking zombie tokens. At this point, I don't think we can win, but I kind of want to see more of my opponent's deck because it's super interesting. This is like the Bloodghast again. Yeah, I mean that's actually lethal, and they kept a card on top. I want to see what that top card is. Show me that top card. So I still don't know whether they actually have BridgeVines or not. They might very well do, but I honestly don't know. So that triggers the bridge. They're probably gonna sack the amalgam in response, yep. And then I'm going to kill the visitors here, but I assume that they're going to sack it in response. Yep, they do. So they get 2 more zombies. They topped twice already. So before their draw step, they topped. So they drew a card that they liked, and now they have a card that they also like on the top here. Takes 10, go down to 5. And this now means that explosives on 0 is not an out anymore. But again, I still want to see. You see, I know my opponent has green now. I imagine that's to deal with some kind of, you know, graveyard stuff. Anglers, Hangerback Walker. Okay, and we die. Sweet. My opponent's deck sweet. They have like 5 minutes less than us on the clock, which kind of makes sense. They had way more decisions to make than us. I do not want Pact of Negation. I do want Tormod Script. I do not want Cavern of Souls. Probably do want Cosmic Return and Firespout. I think I do. And I probably do not want Reclamation Sage. This looks okay. Ballista seems bad, but I guess it's like a way to trigger the bridge to stop them from doing their shenanigans. Okay. Game 2. I will keep this in a heartbeat. This hand is excellent. Instant speed Bojuge Bog, OP. I assume my opponent will have some amount of disruption post board though. I mean, I expect Thought Seizes, I expect Lava Axis. Yep, there you go. Thought Seize. No, ooh. So they can actually trigger Vengevine this turn? Yep, my opponent's deck is pretty damn sweet. Okay. Bogia. Pass. Maybe I should have like play the bounce land there, keep the bug in my hand to maybe do some kind of, yeah, there's the Thoughtseize. Yep, I assumed that was gonna happen. Prime time down. We're gonna have to play this bug a lot though. This is potentially gonna be another hope we draw prime time before we die kind of game. I'm snap not blocking here. Opponent takes 2, and what does he do here? Gravecrawler. Okay. Gravecrawler does synergize with Vengevine, that's for sure. Get Bog back. Steerings, that's not a bad one. Tolaria West, yep, that's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm gonna play Tolaria West for turn. I'm going to play the Azusa here, but I'm not gonna play any more lands. The reason I'm doing this is because the way my hand is shaped up right now, I need to use this. This blue mana from the Tolaria West in order to transmute for a Pact. So I need to hold this bounce land in my hand. It's super sweet when some new deck kind of pops up in Modern and it's doing something, you know, pretty awesome, like what my opponent's doing right now. This is why I like Eternal formats, I like Standard. So they fetch. So at this point, I think the Tribe Scout is more valuable than the Azusa, mostly because of the chance of, you know, being able to instant speed. I don't know if my opponent is, maybe they are running like Gurmag Anglers or something like that. That's why I'm doing this. And my opponent is only down to 3 cards in hand. I guess they did that before combat so they could attack with a Gravecrawler. But I'm not gonna block with this Azusa. I'll take the one from the supplier and, you know, just It's fine. Now we'll see what. That's an amazing draw. I think that allows me to prime time this turn. Play Amulet. Do you have the removal for Azusa? Now you do need to remove the Azusa. 1. Still no removal for Azusa? Nope. Okay. So this is already primetime mana right here. So 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Transmute. Go get a summoner's pact, and the game is over. Primeval Titan. I guess I could have made this in 2 different ways. I could have. What I chose to do is go get Primeval Titan, get Boros Garrison, and Stronghold here, and then bounce the. I guess I can still do that. I still have 1 land drop left from the Azusa, so I can either play the Boros Garrison, or I can just like bounce the Stronghold, and now on the attack trigger go get a I guess a Gruul Turf plus Celestia Sanctuary, and that gives me lethal. I mean, I could get the Celestia Sanctuary, I could get the Vesuva. It's pretty much the same. Vesuva copying the Boros Garrison, of course. But this is cooler, I guess. I don't know. Double strike. Bounce land number 1. And bounce land number 2, I guess. 17, yeah. Okay, so I just want to, you know, this is one of those things that you learn after, you know, just years and just a lot of reps with this deck. The play we just made, you know, where I just, even though I had 2 extra land drops in my hand, with the Ancient Stirrings, I went and I found the Toleria West. And then I just held a bounce line in my hand with 2 extra land drops, you know, because that's one of the things that you need to kind of get into the mode, right? You have to get into the Amulet mode, and you have to always be trying to think, what are your outs? What cards actually, you know, give you the outs, and what do you need in order to make those cards an out? You know, if we had just played the bounce land, okay, just because we had the extra mana there, then the next turn comes around and we draw the Amulet and we do nothing for the turn, you know. So those are the kind of things that you need to, you know, it comes with practice. It just comes with practice and with just reps with the deck, you know, learning to play around things, learning what your outs are at any given point and things like that. I'm trying to figure out whether I want Obstinate Veloth. I don't think I do. I think I'll just submit as it is. I think it's I want to race. My opponent has a little bit of disruption. They showed me that Thoughtseize, so I know that they have a little bit of disruption post board. So I want to be as streamlined as possible. So a hand like this, you know, it looks a little bit naked, right? But this is actually a prime time in disguise. So this hand right here, it's actually a turn 4 Primeval Titan. This hand right here, as it is a turn 4 Primeval Titan, which against the deck like my opponent's right now, I will keep I think a turn 4 Primeval Titan is, even though it's on the draw, I think it's going to be fast enough. I doubt that they're able to kill me on turn 3. And basically, if they cannot kill me, then I will win. Okay, turn 1 Faithless Looting. The best card in Modern. Okay, that's a good turn for us. So I will play Tezzerator West and pass the turn. Maybe my opponent kept a card heavy on sideboarding. Gross. Gross. That's nice. That's nice. Very nice turn for my opponent. Stitcher Supply, dude. This card is real. This card is real. That was a good trigger right there. Guess my opponents figure out some sequencing thing. I wonder what the overgrown to. My opponent showed me green mana, so I'm kind of a little bit intrigued as to what they have for green. Okay, so they do not have disruption, at least not in the form of hand disruption. Maybe they do have artifact, which would make sense. That would explain their green mana. Maybe they have overgrown tomb. For the flashback for Ancient Grudge. I don't know what my opponent is doing right now. I guess they are wondering whether they play a Ballista or a Hangyard by Walker on 0 to get a 2/2. Is that what they're doing? They decide to not do it. Okay, so play Amulet, play Overgrown Tomb. At this point, I'm trying to develop my mana. Another Amulet? No. Radiant Fountain is nice though. Now, even if they blow up my Amulet, I still get to play the Azusa next turn, and I get some nice value off of it. So that's good. Okay. Now, if my opponent spends their turn, grudging my Amulet, at least I get some value off of it. I got some value, I mean. But yeah, I could have gotten second Tezzerator West there. Actually, probably getting second Tezzerator West was better now that I think of it, because I'm not used to playing with Tormod script. Okay, if that is my opponent's turn 3, then I'm really happy though. Oh, they just blew up their own Stitcher Supplier. That's sweet. Okay, they got 2 tokens. Why would they do this before combat though? They missed on 1 point of damage. They missed on 1 point for no reason. Maybe they do have the Thoughtseize here. But that doesn't change the fact that they wanted to attack there. Gravecrawler. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think we are with a moderately well set up here. Okay, so we gain 2 first of all. I'm going to start here. I'm going to play my Azusa. And now I want to be able to transmute this turn for a Primeval Titan. I could also, my opponent has 1 card left in hand. I'm not going to play around. I'm not going to play around anything like Ancient Grudge at this point, I think. Or do I? So I can play around Ancient Grudge, or I can play around Thoughtseize. Those are the 2 cards that I can play around. Playing around Ancient Grudge means playing Gruul Turf here and playing another Radiant Fountain. So I gain 2 more life, I play my Tribe Scout, and then I pass the turn. If they have Ancient Grudge, that basically stops me for 2 turns, because now I'm going to be 2 turns slower to play a Prime Time. On the other hand, if my opponent has Thoughtseize, I kind of lose on the spot. So I'm going to choose to play around. Thoughtseize here, because Thoughtseize kind of loses me the game, whereas Ancient Grudge slows me down. But I think I still have a chance to win. Okay. If my opponent doesn't have Ancient Garage or any way to interact with my Amulet, I think we're in a really, really good spot. Flashback looting, yes. Okay, that's great for me. That's really good for me. Because I doubt they can find a way to kill me here with this board state, with things as they are. Bloodghast, BridgeVine is what they discarded. So they cannot trigger both. They either find a BridgeVine or they find a Bloodghast. Okay, if they attack, I'm going to... What do I want to do here? So if my opponent has land plus dude, they did not cast any dude this turn, so they can, I guess they can get their Gravecaller back. I am going to trade with one of these. The thing is, I think I want to do trade with the Gravecrawler. Because at least it cannot come back at instant speed. So I'm going to do this. Bridge from below trigger, they get another dude, but I get their bridges exiled. So now I have 1, 2, 3. I have 6 mana plus 3 to transmute. Yeah. And I think I play around the correct thing. Nice tokens. Okay. So 3 land drops. That can be 1. Yeah, I think this is game now, so we have 16 minutes to figure out the most efficient way to kill them, basically. So I think I want to play Simic Growth Chamber, Bounce, Radiant Fountain. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. The color mana doesn't really important because I'm gonna have enough. So let's start there. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to bounce the fountain. So now I'm going to transmute for Primeval Titan. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 land drops remaining, so I can do 1 land drop. Gain 2 more life. That's 5 mana. 6, 7. Or I think I want to end up the turn with this in hand. So my Titan triggers are going to go get the third Gruul Turf plus the third Gruul Turf plus a Bojuka Bog. Then I'm going to put the Bojuka Bog trigger at the very end, and in response to both of those, I'm going to make sure that I'm not F6'd or I'm not yielding to any triggers. And in response to both of those, I am going to play Coastal Deck Return, and then the Bojuka Bog trigger will resolve and it will exile their graveyard. So that's what I'm going to do. Play this. 6. Yes. Going to haste my Primeval Titan. I'm not going to play around Blood Moon or none of that crap, because I'm not going to. I just doubt that my opponent's deck can support that mana base. Yep, this deck has sweet sequences. So attack. Yes. Get Bojuka Bog plus a green red bounce land. So the Bog trigger goes on the stack first, so it's the last one to resolve, targeting them. And then both Amulet triggers resolve. So they untap. I Coastal Deck Return. No more yard for you. No more board for you. No more yard for you. GG's. So that's it. We 4-1. We 4-1. This one at least is... This is the good 4-1. The good 4-1 is when you go 3-1 and then you lose. And then the best you can do is 4-1, so you're like, you know, sweet. We made the best we can do. The worst 4-1 is what happened last time I streamed, which we were 4-0 and then we lost the last one. So yeah, that was a pretty sweet primetime trigger right there. And yes, I should kind of figure out how the deck list command works. But this is the list we just played. We 4-1 with it. We beat blue-white control, blue-white-red control. We beat that BridgeVine kind of deck. Sweet deck. I loved it. And then the other, we lost against Saheeli on Tezzerator. And what was the other deck we beat? I forgot what was the other thing that we played against. But yeah, the match against blue white red control was actually was especially sweet. So if you guys want to check out the VODs, I definitely recommend that one. That was against TGR. That match was really sweet. What was the other thing we played against? I'm totally blanking on this. This always happens whenever I play a league. I totally forget what I played against, like, you know, an hour ago or so. But yeah, so deck is still sweet. I guess I'm still like not really entirely familiar with what the mono meta. Oh yeah, that's right. We played against Saheeli, 4-color Saheeli. Another sweet match, by the way. We actually played super sweet matches today. They were long, but all of them were super sweet. But yeah, so there you go. Tomor script, still not sure. I guess it would have been sweet there, but in that last match. But that was like the only time we cited it in. Whereas I would have loved to have more spell pierces against like Sax deck. I would have liked to have more spell pierces against control decks. So I guess it's kind of like a meta call. But yep. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, for sure make sure that you hit the follow button. You can see whenever I'm going to be on stream. I don't think I will be streaming for the next couple of days, but I will for sure be streaming again next week. And yep, you guys can check it out. You can see the VODs in my channel, and hit me up on the Discord. Send me like a whisper on Twitch or whatever if you have any questions about the deck, about sideboarding and stuff. Actually, I just helped Ikasi, who's like somebody from the Amulet Discord. He had like a PPTQ season coming up, and he thinks he will be playing Amulet, so we kind of made some nice sideboard guide, or you know, kind of what to look for in different matchups and stuff like that. Of course, those are based on my personal experience. Some people might have a different experience than I have, and it's perfectly fine. But yeah, probably you can I'm gonna ask him to go ahead and kind of publish that or something. Prawn1731, thank you for hitting that follow button. It's much appreciated. And yep, so that's gonna be it for me today. I'm going to again let you guys know in the Discord and stuff whenever I go on stream again. But I will probably do that. I will see if I can stream from my parents' house. I will see if I can make that work out. They had a terrible internet connection, but now that was changed last week, so maybe I can actually go ahead and, you know, stream from over there, which would be pretty sweet. But yep, thank you guys for hanging out, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.